me. Is anybody there? Save me. I'm running out of air. Calling out Mayday. Calling out Mayday. Far from the sun, beyond stars, I hear their song. They're coming closer, talking without sound, calling me home. Calling out Mayday. Calling out Mayday. Save me. I'm running out of air. I'm running out of air. I'm running out of air. I'm running out of
Hello friendlies and welcome to another Raindance Bushcraft live stream. If you're watching this time delayed to some other time than Tuesday night, then what does he usually say? I forget. Thank you for watching. I am currently, I'm Russell, by the way, from Raspberry Rock. I'm currently drinking, I hope you're having your favorite brew. I'm drinking a Waterloo Dark. And I'm in a gel thing, and I'm totally going to let it age a minute for every year that it's been in the can. Yes. So Jess, no, Sean, it's not 10 o'clock yet. It's 9 o'clock. In fact, I think we even started a minute early. That's my poor planning. I forgot how long that song was. Sean's gonna be, or sorry, Jess is gonna be really surprised when he watches this video later. He's going, what the heck has happened? I've been talking to Jess about, well, I may have mentioned to him months ago, that he needs a trailer to start his live streams. Because not that we don't like his drumming and all, he's really good at the drum thing, but it'd be nice to have a little trailer. That way it allows people to get to, to join the live stream, get into chat, and get comfortable, get their brew ready while that the trailer's playing, and then everybody's ready for when he starts talking. But when I asked him if I could start his live stream tonight, and at that point I thought, I don't have a trailer, let's put some music up. And that music that played at the beginning, it is copyright, but you're fine to use it. It's free to use as long as you credit the artist, which is the Fat Rat. So you can look him up on YouTube. Anyway, tonight we're talking YouTubin. It's one of my favorite topics, actually. And it should be for most YouTubers, people who create YouTube videos, that is, of course. Because those of us who want to grow our channels, we become students of YouTube, and so we end up learning a lot. And for people like myself that has, or had, I should say, like zero experience with video, or even taking pictures with a camera before I started my YouTube video, we're pretty much learning everything. We have to learn how to film videos, edit videos. We have to learn how to change that banner on the top of our YouTube page. We have to learn how to create thumbnails and titles, and all the while getting better at all of these things. I think the only thing that I kind of slid into really easily was brand deals and sponsorships. After 20 years in IT and then co-owning my own business in solar power, kind of looking at contracts as a breeze, and approaching companies was pretty easy. I was pretty good at putting together emails and then saying, here's my channel, here are some stats you might want to look at, here's how I think we can arrange this. Pretty good at that. I mean, the only thing I had to figure out was kind of the value of what I was offering. Like, if somebody offered me a product, well, how do I rate that against putting that in my video? Like, how much should I charge? You know, should I charge money or should I just take the product? How much is the product worth? That's the only thing I had to figure out, and then the rest was pretty straightforward after that. But everything else, it's all a big learning curve for us. So at some point, we're going to bring some other YouTubers in here. Some YouTubers who are just starting out, really just creating their channels for the first time, and then some more experienced YouTubers. Hopefully somebody. I was trying to get Malo from Quebec Homestead in here because not only they, experienced, her and Ben, not only they're experienced YouTubers, but they're kind of switching gears on their channel, and they're creating a different type of content going forward. So that in itself is an interesting topic, because how does that affect their channel? How does it affect their subscriber base? Stuff like that. And we're going to get Sean in Alaska in here at 10 p.m. Eastern Standard, so in about an hour, to talk about his channel. And I'm really interested to talk to Sean because I've been kicking his butt, figuratively speaking, over chat about what his videos should be like right now, and thumbnails and titles and stuff like that. And he followed my advice, and I want to talk to him about a recent video. Your most recent video you put out, Sean? Because you pretty much did exactly what I said. I haven't watched the video yet, but we're going to talk about it. Here we go. Sean's so good-natured. I don't know anybody as good-natured as Sean. I figuratively kicked his butt, and he just kind of laughed and said, yep, I got to do that. Some YouTubers can't. They don't like advice. Especially those of us who have been doing it a while. But I don't know. I know a funny story. I know other YouTubers who started a YouTube channel, and they made about 20 videos, maybe even 30 videos. And I kind of was keeping an eye on them, and eventually I said, why are you just doing your videos in 720p? Like, does your camera not do 1080p? And the response was, oh my goodness, I didn't even realize it was 720. I'll have to check my camera. I think it does 1080p. I'll have to check. I'm like, well, you shouldn't be like 20 or 30 videos in before you kind of realize something like this. I think doing YouTube videos is a constant learning experience. Like, you do a video, and then your next video should be better than your previous, and you should be putting your videos against other YouTuber videos and going, well, what's the difference here? Why does that person's video look so much clearer? Why is mine blurry? Why is that? My video seems to go out of focus when I do that, but his doesn't, or hers doesn't, right? I think it's a constant learning process of doing things like that. And then we go the other route, which is Jesse's mentioned this a bunch of times. He hates it when big YouTubers talk about their camera gear, because it immediately it's like, well, this is my main camera. It's a $5,000 mirrorless ding camera. And it causes new YouTubers to go, oh, well, I guess I need that kind of camera because that person uses that camera, and I can't make videos without that type of camera. And Shotgun David Evans is going to join us shortly because he's creating a new YouTube channel. And I think he's going through this right now, which is, what kind of camera equipment do I need? What do I need for editing? What do I need? And he's actually created a channel, and he's kind of going through all this. And I'm really interested to talk to Dave about this because, I created my YouTube channel in 2016 is when I first created it, and then 2017 is when I actually got down. It was January 2017. I actually got down and started really making videos for real, and figure out how to do a banner. That's funny because a banner for a YouTube channel, at least when I was doing it, it's not like just, oh, here's a picture, let's put it up. It's kind of like YouTube wanted a big picture, and this part of it was going to be your banner. But if it's on a TV, then it's this part of the banner is on the TV. But if it's on mobile, then it's this part. It's like, so wait, I gotta have a banner that's in three parts, but they all have to go together somehow. So I want to see if it's the same thing. What's pea soup? Who are you? I recognize that thumbnail, but yep. Anyway, David, I sent you the link. You want to join us? I know I said 9:15, but I kind of said what I wanted to say. And hopefully Jess will be able to join us later and give his perspective as well. Hello to everybody who's joined us in chat. Tenenbaum is here. Fox Outdoors, Sharon Q, Sean Alaska, Gunslinger Outdoors. Who else have we got here? Shawnee is here. Whoever Pea Soup is. Tim Key is here. LT Survival is here. There he is. Hey, Dave. Whoa, I don't like that one. Oh, your mic's turned off, Dave. Your mic's turned off.
Yep.
Yeah,
okay, here we go. Hi, everybody. Nice to see everyone.
Dave,
am I too dark? I'm sorry, I'm just trying to get the light right. How's that?
No, that's good. You look good.
Is that good? Okay.
Yeah.
I got banished to the bedroom tonight because Pam's watching a movie, a DVD, so.
You got banished to the bedroom?
Yeah.
Well, that's not so bad.
No, it's not too bad.
You're still inside.
I'm still inside, exactly.
So, David, you're as I was just talking about, you were just creating your YouTube channel now. I know you just made your first video, but you haven't put it public yet.
No.
So tell us, what's the most challenging part you found of making a YouTube channel?
Right now, it's coming up with a good name. I've been, if anybody is on Discord, you'll see the trials and tribulations I've been going through probably for about 2 weeks now about coming up with a good YouTube name. And I hope people don't mind, but I'm not going to share that with anyone at the moment until I finally figure it out. But I've been trying to come up with something that's clever, something that's cute, something that's catchy. But you really, at the end of the day, and I've been watching a lot of YouTube videos about this and getting some good advice from Russell. You got to come up with a name that's really representative of your channel. And
I don't think some of my suggestions are very good.
Well, so far they have been. I'm not saying what the future may hold, but anyway,
yeah.
You got to come up with that YouTube channel name that's that captures what you're doing, and helps you with the YouTube search engine, and it's not easy. So I think right now I've come up with about 6 different names. I think I'm getting close to maybe 1 or 2, but it's important to have a good name which is going to represent what you want to do on YouTube and help you with the algorithms, and and also be catchy at the same time. So it's not easy. It's not.
I know we've thrown a lot of names around Discord, and a lot of them they were just jokes, somewhat jokes, kind of, and somewhat kind of like some of them though. Even the jokey ones have led us down different avenues as to, because we got in the. Well, I don't know if you want to talk about any of these right now, but I mean we got talking about let's say we kind of went down the road. Yeah.
The big one for me was the on-grid cabin. I thought, okay, I've done a million searches. Everything's off-grid. I went to Google, did their trends.google.com. On your suggestion, no hits for on-grid cabin. But at the end of the day, you're right. Nobody really. I mean, on-grid is just so common. I mean, if you're not off-grid, you're on-grid. So I thought it'd be kind of unique, but from what I can tell, really, there's never been any searches ever done about an on-grid cabin, right? So I think having the word cabin in my title is important. I want it to reflect the fact that I'm fortunate enough to live on a lake, and I'm in Eastern Ontario, and I think I've come close now to put together something representative of the region. The fact, that I'm on beside the lake and I'm in a cabin. I would love to use cottage life, but unfortunately, it's taken.
Well,
So
you can use the. There's nothing stopping you from using the same name that somebody else has, especially if it's a generic thing like cottage life or even
okay.
cabin life, or you can do
Yeah.
that. But
So yeah, it's hard. It's so difficult.
in my opinion, if you can get some kind of unique name in your title and then something else in there that kind of identifies either the theme or your niche or your general topic of videos, and without too much verbiage, without making it too long, then that's kind of
Yeah,
the sweet spot for me. And that's
like
kind of how I got Raspberry Rock Off-Grid Cabin kind of thing.
yeah, like for me, I know what my theme is going to be. I really want to. I mean, I don't plan on. I mean, I'm starting the YouTube channel out of interest because I want to share things with people, but I'm not really out to, if I get monetized, that's a bonus. But if I don't get monetized, it's fine. That's not the reason I'm doing it. But I want to share. I want to share with people, Pam and my experience with. We started with a clean slate, a vacant piece of land. We were very fortunate that we had the hydro lines going through right next to where we built. So, I mean, it was a no-brainer decision to, we're going to obviously be on grid. But there was a lot of moving pieces we had to put a road in, we had to add a well, we had to add a septic, we had to put in, we had to bring hydro to the place. Eventually, we added a furnace. I mean, we've gone through a lot of different steps to end up with a place where we can now live full time. And when we built it, it was originally only meant to be a cabin or a cottage that we would enjoy during the summer. But I mean, as soon as we were both retired, we couldn't wait to get out of the GTA, and we ended up there full time. And so I just want to share our experiences that we went through to end up with how we ended up where we are, and what were some of the decisions that we made along the way, and help people with the should I do this now or should I do it later decision process. That really is what I would like to talk about, and just also share, the lake and going out on the lake, and whether we're canoeing or fishing, and it's just share our beautiful scenery that we have around us, like you do, like you share your beautiful property
Life.
on Raspberry Rock.
And I was is primarily I wanted to share this place with everybody, and secondarily was to build a second income.
Yeah.
But I'll tell you what, when you and I've said this before on other live streams, is like if you have, say, 50 subscribers, you're going to want 100. If you have 100, you're going to want 500. If you have 500, you're going to want 1,000. And then you're going to want to be monetized, and then you're going to want to make enough money to pay for at least the equipment that you've bought for your YouTube channel. And then, somewhere down the road, maybe make it into a part-time job or even a full-time job. But these are kind of the steps. And I'll tell you why it is. At least when you start out, is like if you put out a video and you get 20 comments on the video and people say, "Oh, I really enjoyed this video. I really liked it. I'm looking forward to the next one." It hits you right here every single time. And you think, "Oh, that was just 20 comments. What if I got 40?"
Yeah.
And I tell you what, I did this video recently that I got 1 million views, that, and there's like probably 4,000 comments on that video. And every single person who said, "Oh, I enjoyed this video. Oh, I really like this." Every single comment hits me right here.
Yeah. Well, I remember the first time I left a comment for you, and I wasn't right on board when you started Raspberry Rock, but I wasn't too far behind. I think within a year or year and a half, I was following you, but not commenting. But eventually, one day, I finally did comment, and I remember saying, like, me and my wife have discovered your channel. We really enjoy it. Thanks for sharing. And you replied actually almost, I think, within a day. And you said how much you enjoyed hearing when husband and wives follow your channel. So, yeah, I think that's exactly what you're talking to in terms of the enjoyment you get out of it and what inspires you to do it, right?
Well, see, in that, yes, and it's even better in my case, because I also get a lot of comments where people say, especially from men, who will say, "Oh, I love your lifestyle. Oh, I really want to do what you do, but it'll never happen because my wife, should never go for it." And then I go into the spiel. Well, I have a city girl, and she would have gone for it at one point. But I just like it when a husband and wife or boyfriend or girlfriend, they're both watching the videos, because that means that they're together, and they maybe they can actually make it happen one day if they work towards it.
Yeah, well, we
Ooh.
like I said, when we transitioned from the Greater Toronto area to living at the lake full time, I had to go through a number of steps to get Pam there. One was the furnace, and on grid we put in air conditioning. We did a bunch of things. We had baseboard heaters. Now we're thinking about next thing we're thinking about doing, and it's always we should have, or hindsight's always 2020, is now we're talking about maybe a wood stove.
Hmm.
Um, not as our main source of heat, but just ambiance. I think mostly just for that fire. Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. I can
So it's
totally see
definitely
that.
it's definitely a learning process. I mean,
Bit of a pain to put one in now, but it'd be worth it.
yeah, we know where we would put it. And because we have such a complex roofing system, our roof's got 4 valleys in it. It does make it a little challenging, but we know where we can put it. So
Fair enough. Here's
yeah.
here's a good question. Dave, do you ever think you'll do live streaming?
No, I don't. But again, you go back to once you get hooked, I'll just be happy to get some videos up and get some subscribers and get the channel going. It's a real, at least for me, in the last few days since I started the channel, and I've been going through, this filling in all the necessary information to get a YouTube channel. It's a bit of a steep learning curve, and for me, I found it challenging. Like do you do a I forget what it is. You can have a choice of having a channel where you're just the person and it's your personal name, or then you can go and make it a business. Then you can put a channel name on it, and then you got to go through all the verification steps, and and then you're talking about the branding and the banner and uploading your photo. I'm not a computer savvy person, so I've struggled with a bit of this. I finally got it sorted out. I tried to upload my first video last night, but I ran into a little small snag with with the wrong choice of music. I had a copyright infringement, so I got to go back and look at the YouTube music library and choose something else. So
Yeah.
I hope to get it up tomorrow. But it is fun. It is fun. It is grasping. It is the more I do, the more interested I am in doing it.
Well, that's good. That's good because it's nothing but a learning process, and it's kind of like you could spend every day, or you just like kind of write down a long list. As soon as you hear of something new, go, okay, what is that? What is B-roll? Okay, I'll write that down, and then one day
Yeah.
I'm going to look it up. One day soon I'm going to look it up.
So it's funny you say that. So I've started a notebook
Ah,
of all the different things that I've been coming. So I've been watching YouTube videos, obviously, about starting a channel, how to select a name. And one good person I've come across is this guy named Jason Brown, Primal Video, and he's got an excellent series of videos put out on how to start your YouTube channel, how to select the name, how to select your tags, so so you can do better in the Google, in the YouTube search engine. Yeah, it's really good. And then I've been watching videos on iMovie, which is what I've been using to edit my first video. And so, yeah, there's a lot of information out there, and it's just, I find it fascinating to go and just search for really good videos on the content that I'm looking for.
there's some excellent stuff out there, and it's kind of funny because like there's a YouTuber I follow called Sean Kitching, and a lot of his stuff I don't watch. In fact, most of his videos that come up I don't watch. In fact, almost all of his videos I do. Anyway, but I've seen some excellent videos where he's like, I'm going to do a segment where I'm going to walk down here, walk across this bridge, and over here. And then he kind of breaks it all, and he shows the whole segment, which is like 15 seconds long. It's not that very long at all, but he breaks down the whole segment saying, okay, I think here I'm just going to show my legs walking along, and then here I'm going to do underneath this tree I'm walking along like this, and then in front of me is I'm going to capture. He's got his girlfriend there actually holding the camera, and then I'm going to capture myself coming along here, and then I'm going to pause and do this panorama. And I was like, oh, just wonderful, wonderful stuff. And you watch something like that, and your mind kind of goes, I could use this. I could use all of this, in future videos.
Yeah. Well, and it's funny that you touched on the equipment. I'm fortunate enough that I think I have most of the basic equipment I need to get started. I have an older DSLR camera which will take 1080p, 24 or 30 frames per second, so I can use that to get started. I got my iPhone. I have a drone, and today I went out and I bought a selfie stick / tripod for my iPhone. So I'm going to use it. I have it here. Yep, it's right here. So I went out and I bought this today. It was like $20 US, and it folds out to a tripod, and then you can pull it out and make it a selfie stick if you want. So $20, it's going to get me started for taking pictures, and so we're heading to the Florida State Fair tomorrow. So I'm going to take it with me, and I'm going to shoot some footage and play with it and practice with it and see putting together a video. But so I mentioned I edited my first video last night. I had some drone footage from the very first time I flew my drone over our place beside the lake, and I had about 20 minutes. And it was really rough. I mean, obviously, you could tell I was flying a drone for the very. So by the time I finished editing it, I was down to 1 minute. So.
That's very common.
Yeah.
Well, in my case, it's like there's so much time setting up a shot, especially if I'm flying between trees, because I'll go nice and smooth, nope. Okay, back up. Nice and smooth, nope. Because I'm aiming towards a tree, right, or something, and I fix it, and nope, and then finally, I made it. But other than that, I mean, when it comes to drones, I'm like, it's got to be a nice smooth this way, or a nice smooth this way, or a nice smooth this way. But as soon as you turn your drone like this, nope, don't do that, or up, or down, or nope, don't do that.
Yeah,
don't fly around and go, nope. No turns.
Yeah, I had it in beginner mode for most of the first time I flew it. The second time I flew it, which is going to be my next video that I'm going to edit, it is much smoother, especially the return to home part. That was perfect.
I use the return to anyway. Way to go, Mike! Now everything is good. Nice. I used to I use the return to home a lot, and you know where it's really helpful? You get just above tree level, and it takes you some practice to learn where just above tree level is, and I kind of fly it off in a direction towards the north, and then I do the return to home, because I know it's always going to come straight at the cabin, so it looks like, oh my god, you're flying over these trees and you came right home to the cabin.
Yeah.
Anyway, because as soon as it goes out of sight, which is really easy, you don't know where it is.
Well, exactly. I think the first time I flew it, I didn't let it get away. Like you made the comment that everything in that video was from such a high height, because I was so scared about hitting trees. I think I must have been 200 or 300 feet above the house. I think our trees are 60. Our trees are like 70, 80 feet tall, maybe the highest one. So I was like double the height of those trees, easily just to be safe.
That's the first thing I noticed. Yeah, the trick is you keep your camera, you don't tilt your camera down, you keep it level, and then you fly up and you're looking at the treetops, and then you keep flying up and maybe fly forward and back, and you kind of get a feel. You'll get a feel after a while, what is the height I should be at. Because I tell you what, and I'll tell you another thing. What kind of drone do you have?
It's a DJI Maverick Air 2.
Yeah, okay. And you can tilt your camera up and down like this, can you?
Yep. Yep.
Okay. So I've noticed a lot of drones, if you keep the camera level, sometimes you pick up the propellers whirring in the video. So I always tilt mine, even if I just want to film what's straight ahead, I tilt it down just slightly. But I tell you what, flying at like tree height, or like just a few feet above tree height, is so amazing. It's so awesome. It's almost like you're flying, right?
Well, I haven't flown the drone now in probably almost 6 to 8 months, so I'm gonna have to. I guess I'll be starting learn it all over again. But I'm definitely determined this summer to get out, fly the drone more, and I just get out and make some videos. One thing I am gonna
Yep.
do is my neighbor. I'm gonna be helping my neighbor again with his house this summer, and we'll be doing the exterior cladding. We'll be indoors doing the wiring and the plumbing. I plan on filming a lot of that and making some videos out of that.
Well, that's good. That's a great place to start. People love that.
Yeah.
Shawnee asks, how or where do you find free B-roll of stuff to insert into the video if you can't film your own? There's, I don't know about free B-roll. Certainly there's sites where you can buy video for stuff, and I don't know how much it costs. That would be like I don't use any B-roll except for what I create. But I suppose that would be the sort of thing where, say, you want to review your car, and you don't have a lot of, you want to film, you want video of the car, say, as it's going down the highway from the side, but you don't have a drone. There's no way you can film it yourself, so you go out and buy some stock footage or something like that. That's kind of when you want to do B-roll like that, right? But I don't know what those sites are, and I've never, as I said, I only use my own B-roll. I typically use B-roll for, like, if I'm talking about something, and then I want to show a close-up while I'm talking about it. That's typically where I would use B-roll.
I didn't even know what B-roll was until last night. So it's a
I tell you what,
really steep learning curve.
there's some really clever people out there. I was watching a video where a guy was talking about flying to New York to see Casey Neistat, and right in the middle of the video, he's talking about it, and he's like, "Oh shoot, I forgot to film any B-roll of me on the plane. Hold on." He runs out to his workshop, and he gets an old bottle of bleach with the handle, and he cuts it all up. So he's just got the handle, and he puts it up beside himself, and he puts something blue behind it. He gets a pillow, and he puts it behind his head. He puts the camera there, and then and plays a sound of a plane going, and he's like, "Okay, so I'm on the flight now. It's the red eye from Los Angeles to New York. I gotta be quiet because there's people sleeping around me." And it was perfect. It looked like he was on a plane. It's like he recreated B-roll. I was like, "That's amazing. That's beautiful."
Well, so last night I learned deleting frames from your original video that you're editing, inserting titles, transitioning, just putting in music. It was really fascinating. I mean, to take 20 minutes of video down to 1 minute took me over 2 hours. It's because I was, going back to YouTube, looking at this one good YouTube video I found about working with, iMovies for beginners, and I was fast forwarding and reversing and going over things. I go, okay, now this is how you do it. And I played with it, and like I said, it was 2 hours before I finally uploaded it and rendered it and tried to put it onto YouTube.
It does get faster.
Yeah, it does get faster. I'm sure it does. But I also watched your video on how to make a video start to finish. I mean, that was also very helpful.
How I make my videos start to finish.
Yeah, how you make your videos. Yeah, how I make a video start to finish, I think, is the title of what your video is.
Yeah.
But it was useful. I watched it before I started. So
It's so you use the iMovie, but are you still planning on buying a PC when you get back?
I may. I was thinking about buying the PC mostly for gaming reasons. I do like Macs, and the fact that I drank the Kool-Aid. I've got an iPhone, I got an iPad, and I got a MacBook Air. And the thing I like about Apple is they're seamless. You do one thing on one device, it shows up on the other devices. And it took me a while to kind of get away from the Windows format operating system, but I'm really into the Mac now. Pam has a Windows-based computer, so I do go back and forth. But if I'm going to get more serious about gaming, then I'm definitely going to be buying a Windows computer. But the other thing is this Mac that I have now, it's also about 2000. It's 8 or 9 years old, so it's getting older, and I will need to replace it probably sooner than later.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So Sean says, I always shoot extra video 10 seconds at a time when I shoot anything. I use this for B-roll. What are you referring to, Sean? You always shoot extra video 10 seconds at a time. Like when you're... Oh, okay. I think I get it. So, like, you're pointing your camera at your chickens and you're talking or something, and then you let it go 10 seconds longer just in case you want to show more video or show that video. Or you're talking about it later and you want to show that video. I guess that makes sense. I do something similar, but for other reasons. Like if I'm shooting scenery off my deck, I always shoot longer segments than I think, because I know I'm only going to put like 8 to 10 seconds of that video in my video. Say 8 to 10 second clip in my video, but sometimes I need the audio for something else, or I need... I don't know. Just a lot of the time I need some more.
So
Anyway, that didn't explain it at all.
what does it take? Like if you put out your average 30 to 45 minute video, how much rough video does that take for you to condense that down to that kind of time period? I know it'll vary, but on average, what is it?
Gosh. Time-wise, it would be hard to say. I wish there was an easy way to tell that too, because if I look at like last week's video, I can look at a list of files, which is there's like 60 files, and they're all, I don't know, there's like I don't know. It's hard to tell, and like it really depends, because I mean, the final video turned out at 26 minutes, but if I just look at the list, I don't have a whole lot more than 26 minutes here. It, as you said, it depends, and kind of like it, you know, the segment that I'm filming too. Like if I'm doing a hike, and again, it depends on the season. In summertime, the hikes are pretty simple. It's very simple to the clips. You know, like you pull up a clip and okay, here's where I want to start, here's where I want it to end, move it into the project, done. Yeah. In the wintertime, especially if the snow is deep and I want to do a shot where I'm walking towards the camera, I'll walk around the area because I don't want to mess up the snow, set up the camera, hit record, walk back around the area, and then walk towards the camera. And you know, for that 10 seconds of video, it might have been even 5 minutes of full footage of that.
Yeah, but one thing I do enjoy also is watch. I know there's other people associated with Raspberry Rock and Sundance and Raindance Bushcraft, like you know Sharon Q and Lipstick Lodge, who you know just recently started their own YouTube channels, and I like watching them learn, because I've seen their improvements as they go along, right? And that I get a lot out of too. It's also inspiring to see. And now Mark Campbell's now started the Camp Bell off-grid cabin for his Manitoulin place. So I'll be interested to follow Mark and see how he does and how he improves. And
yeah, I sent a message to Mark and he didn't respond. I think the biggest, the most fun one to watch is Stacy Cabin Dweller, because her videos have gotten so much better, and her thumbnails and titles have been terrific. She's just like improved so much. So she's taken off, and if she continues like that, like as I say, no matter how good you think you are, if you're still trying to learn every day, you're gonna get better every day.
Yeah. Well, even Jess's short videos I've started going back and watching some of his original ones, and you can definitely see the improvement in his. And I think sometimes when you do these short little videos, whether they're 2 minutes or 8 minutes, sometimes I think they're harder than the longer ones, because you're trying to pack more into a short period of time.
It depends to me.
Yeah.
You know, and it's funny is I've also watched oh my goodness. Jeez, I just watched a video of his earlier. The Canadian Peter McKinnon. Peter McKinnon's done some videos where he's done a 30-second video of making coffee. And then he breaks down exactly how he did that and, and he shows his project in his editing software. I'm like, oh my god, there's like 15 things going on at once, in one part of this project, and it's amazing to me to watch some of this stuff. But I can find some real inspiring stuff watching short videos, like high
Yeah.
quality short videos, like highly edited. And I think, but you could spend forever editing a video and making it perfect, and
Well, I did start over last night. I mean, I was deleting so much I ended with nothing. So I had to take the original video and start over, and then start editing and deleting and transitioning from one when you're flying the drone and it's jerky. It's really hard to transition smoothly from kind of like one shot into another shot. So that's why I did that. I did that. I don't know what they call it, the inside out transitions between the different shots, just to kind of smooth it out a little bit.
So I use dissolve a lot, dissolve between my clips, and
Yeah.
you're right. Sometimes you perfectly get your clip in, your clip out, you put it in your project, and then you want to try and dissolve. Well, as soon as you try and dissolve, that uses the next 15 frames of the clip after you've put your thingies on it. And it's like if you're flying your drone and I just perfectly got the out bit, but in the next 15 frames I suddenly turn the drone, well, that makes it into the dissolve.
Mhm.
So you learned that, oh, I got to cut that off 15 frames before I wanted to, because it'll look dumb when you're dissolving, because you're dissolving between the two shots and suddenly you see the drone go as it.
Yeah,
I know
that's
it
one of the
has.
limitations of iMovies, and they do tell you in all the YouTube videos that I watch. They said it's good for a beginner, intermediate editing, but you get into it if you want to really get into the really fine details of editing. It's not the program to be using.
So this is kind of what I brushed on earlier, is like, when it comes to like equipment, or it comes to editing, or it comes to music, even, like, do whatever you can with the free software, the free music, the free, or even the hardware. Use, like, the camera gear. Use what you've got. But when you get to a point where you're like, I want to do this, I've seen this done in all these videos, I want to do this, and I can't do it with the equipment I got, then start looking at upgrading to, then start looking at the equipment that you need to get the shots you want, or do the editing effects that you want. Until
Yeah.
then, don't
No,
worry about it.
you're right. I was in Best Buy today, and just out of curiosity, I went over and I looked at some of the DSLR cameras that are now on the market, and I saw the mirrorless ones, and the price tag on those things are anywhere from $1,500 up to $5,000.
Oh
It
yeah.
like it's incredible what you can drop on new equipment if you're not careful, right? So I 100% agree with you. Like I said, I'm fortunate enough to have. I got my iPhone. I got a Nikon D5100, which I bought in 2011, which I can use for video, and I've got a drone. So I think I'm set for definitely for the beginner stage of starting videos.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So now it's just kind of making videos. I'll tell you what, I have I was thinking of Chris Prouse earlier today, and she's been on Justice live streams before, and she's done some thumbnails for Joe Robinette that are just incredible, and I've tried to recreate those, and I'm like, this is way beyond me. I was like, they're
Yeah.
so good,
I think
so
another
talented.
challenge that I'm going to have to overcome though is also, and it was like coming on these live streams when I first started, like one of your Raspberry Rock live streams, I was so nervous, but now I'm fine with it. So it's getting in front of the camera and talking to the camera. I think that's another bit of a steep learning curve I'm going to have to go through. And so tonight I
Oh
was
yeah.
um, I was playing with the selfie stick and the little Bluetooth remote control it comes with to either take a picture or a video, and I was filming Pam, and Pam didn't seem to have any trouble talking, but so I might put her on the video anyway. But yeah, that's another thing, like talking to the camera and actually trying to be coherent and succinct. I think that's important. So that's something else I'm gonna have to learn.
I have a problem with City Girl, where if she, like, say she wants to talk about something, like say the garden or something, and she'll just hold the camera and point it at the object and talk. And I'm like, no, 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 hold the camera back. Like, it's fine to get a close up, but then hold the camera back so that you're in the shot and the thing you're talking about is in the shot. And she doesn't want to do that. She hates doing that. And I'm like, no, people want to see you. It doesn't, and it's not just that you're really cute. It's people want to see you talking.
Yeah, and she has such a great personality for doing it. I mean,
well, she does, and she's got,
and her voice is perfect for radio. Like,
but Dave, while I grab a beer, you know what I want to talk to you about is, well, talk about your challenges uploading your video. Like, what did you have a problem with any of the flow? Like, there's a flow now to uploading a video. You upload a video and then you do a bunch of crap.
Yeah, well, for me, uploading the video was a bit of a challenge because it took me a while just to find the right place to click on iMovies to do it, and then it goes through. I forget what steps it goes through, but once you get it up to YouTube, then it has to go through the. They have to, they review it, or what is it? They do the. Anyway, there's a bunch of steps I don't remember, but anyway, it takes several minutes for them to do that. So you got to render it. Because mine was only 1 minute, and it was only 720. It was only 720p, but I did do it at high quality, so it took only like 5 to 10 minutes to render it. And then I think to upload it, it only took maybe a minute. But then to go through, there's a 2 or 3 step process for YouTube to verify your video, and then that's when and then you got there's some information you got to fill out, whether you want to. You put in your tags, you choose, you're going to upload a thumbnail, or you let it automatically choose a thumbnail for you. That's what I did. And then there's some other stuff. And then I ran into the challenge that I only marked mine private. I didn't want to mark it public because I'm still, trying to develop the channel name. But then I ran into the copyright claim issue, and so then I kind of had to go back and try to sort that out. And then it got late, so I decided not to do it, and I haven't done it yet. So it's not difficult, and I'm sure, like you said, it's going to get faster. But there is some steps in there, and and then if you do finally get to publish it or make it public, you got to choose the time you want to upload it. And anyway, it was a little daunting, but not too bad. It wasn't. The whole thing with YouTube since I started is. It's not difficult. You just got to find your time. The most thing I find challenging is that you've got your YouTube account, and then you got your channel, and it says go to settings. Well, is that the settings in your YouTube account, or is that the settings in your channel? So then you got to go to YouTube Studio, and I find it difficult to navigate through some of these different things.
And then sometimes you got to go actually to Google, your Google account, to do some things, but not too often.
No. So
yeah,
and then
believe me when I say it doesn't get any simpler, but it gets a lot faster. You just kind of go, oh, yep.
It's not. I'm not going to say it's difficult, but it's not. I don't think it's that user friendly, but it's not difficult. I mean, I did it, so if I can do it, anyone can do it.
So many things are not user friendly these days. Like I got an iPad Mini, and there was an operating system update, and a whole bunch of new features were added. And I'm like, how do I disable these? It took me like half an hour just to figure out how to disable Quick Notes. So annoying.
One of the first things you'll learn with Apple products is don't do the updates. If you find an operating system you're happy with, don't do the updates.
Well, yeah, and I wouldn't, except City Girl got a hold of it and said, oh, look, there's 23 updates ready. I guess I'll just click, go ahead and do all those.
Yeah, update all, yeah.
Sean's waiting for us, but I just wanted to answer one question that you had, which is when it's doing its checks, YouTube is doing its checks. So you've uploaded the video, and then it says checking, I forget what it says. That's when it goes through and it looks for copyright issues like the music, or video copyright issues. It's also looking for prohibited content like violence and hate speech. It's also looking for how many swear words you used in the video, because that affects advertising. Is there something else there? Anyway, it's doing that, and I tell you what, sometimes I upload an hour long video, and like several hours go by while it's doing its checks, and that's just YouTube taking a big dump at the time. Eventually works. Sean's here. Hey, buddy.
How you guys doing?
Hey, Sean, how are you?
Good, David. How are you,
Good.
man?
Good, man.
Good to see
Thanks.
you. So, I want to know. So first of all, you did the video. You did the video I wanted you to make. You did this whole snowstorm. You did everything actually. It was like I wanted a thumbnail of you in front of your trailer. I wanted the title to be this. I haven't watched the video yet, so I can't talk about the video itself. But how's it doing?
So, I being on YouTube for a while now, I have some analytics experience. I don't have a lot yet. So I basically track everything as far as video success on how it's doing compared to the previous 10 videos.
Yep.
This one's at number 5.
Right
So,
in the middle.
yeah, middle of the pack, but it seems to be gaining, and it looks like it's going to jump up a bit more. But I'll tell you that probably the best video that I've had, performance-wise, was the one I titled "An Idiot in Alaska." And I'm thinking, oh my God, that's just I could do an entire series of idiot in Alaska things. An idiot in Alaska builds a cabin. I mean, I could have a lot of fun with that. But I really liked how that video turned out. And I have some other thumbnails. So I'm going to play the game of changing the thumbnail probably midweek here and see if that gives it any more traction.
Yeah. I'm just looking at your channel now, and the types of thumbnails you do. There's a, you know what, okay, so you got text on that video, and so 414 views in 2 days. And in fact, that came out on a Friday, right? You put that out?
No, Sunday morning.
Oh, Sunday.
Yeah.
So so like my videos will do, like I put them on Friday, and if they're gonna do really well, they start picking up on Sunday. So 2 days later, they start like really ramping up.
Okay.
But why Sunday, by the way?
So I played around with different days that I could release it on, and there wasn't a whole lot of people putting stuff out on Sunday morning. And I thought, you know what, I'm going to do that, and I'm going to play with that for a couple of weeks. And I played with different days for a couple of weeks in a row for about 2 or 3 months. And it seemed like on Sunday, for whatever reason, I got the biggest jump out the gate with my video releases.
Okay.
And so I've just kind of stuck with it. Now, I mean, you know what's going to happen this summer with the cabin and everything else. I'm going to get to the point where I have so much content that I'm going to have to do 2 videos a week. So Sunday and Wednesday, or Sunday and Thursday, will go really well. Beginning of the week, middle of the week, I think they'll pair up really nice.
Yeah, I get it. I want to tell you to try Friday releases.
There's so many big, good channels, though, that do video releases on Friday, right?
But you know what that means? I mean, that could be good and that could be bad, because
that means it
there's a
works.
ton. Yeah, but that means a ton of people are like hitting, Sean James's video, but they come off of that, and then what's in the suggested after that?
Yeah.
Right. Is it my video? Is it your video? There's like hundreds of thousands of people hitting Sean James's video, and then sitting there going, "Oh, this one looks good. Surviving Alaska snowstorms in a trailer. Yeah, I can watch that."
Maybe I'll play around with that. I mean, nothing's set in stone. I'm a really big proponent. You can flex things to find what works for you.
But Sean, here's the thing. Here's the thing that I found in my experience. Like the first 24 hours that the first hour is very important on a video. The first 24 hours is really important. The first 48 hours is really important. The first 7 days is really important on a video. And each of those are like, YouTube says, well, how did it do in the first hour? How did it do in the first, you know what I'm saying?
Right.
And then it says, okay, well, you did this well in the first hour. You did this well in the first 24 hours. You did this well in the first 48 hours. We need to push it out more. If you're getting good engagement, if you're getting good click-through rates, if you're getting good retention time. But you put out your video on a Sunday, and like Mondays for me and for everybody I know, Mondays the views drop off a cliff.
Okay.
And Sean James has told me the same thing. Mondays, like Sundays are great for me for video watching, but as I said, after that first 24 hours, after that first 48 hours, you're into Monday, Tuesday, and I could show you my graphs, but my views are like oh good.
Okay.
Like,
Well, maybe, I mean, there's, like I said, I'm not married to that whole idea. So maybe what I'll do this week is I'll release my Sunday video on Friday and see what happens. I mean, it's only 5 days from the previous video, but I'll do that for a couple of weeks and see if it makes a big difference. Because I'm not, like I said, I'm not married to that position. It just has worked for me for the time being. But I'm not opposed to trying something different either.
well, that's and you're in a great spot right now, Sean, because if you're not counting on your YouTube revenue to pay bills, kind of thing, and you're not too worried about, gosh, I might lose a few views if I post on a different day,
Right.
you know, then like you're in a great position where you can try different things, and it's it's not going to kill your channel or your views.
Right. And
That's what I'm thinking.
it's kind of nice because, like you said, I'm in a sweet spot right now because I do work 5 days a week. This is all in addition to everything that I'm doing. So if I make a dime on this, it's just awesome. Like you said, it pays for the gear that I paid to do this. Yeah, I'm not opposed to playing around with it and trying with it. I like the idea of, the suggestions you gave me for this video. And I kind of was bummed that because I expected it to do much better than it did. And I was kind of bummed that it didn't just blow up out of the gate. But one thing I will tell you that I am subscribed to my own channel, like everybody should be who has a channel, because you should be your first subscriber.
Yeah.
But when I go through the whole editing process, I watch my videos so many times while I'm editing it that I really don't go back and watch my own videos. Well, this week, for the first time, and I don't know how long, I got a suggestion from YouTube saying, hey, Sean in Alaska has a new video. You should go watch this. And I haven't seen a suggestion for one of my own videos in a long time. So I went and watched the video. And I was very pleasantly surprised at how well I thought that thing turned out. I thought it really, we're talking about B-roll in here earlier, and I thought I had some awesome B-roll in there. And I went, oh my God, all of that work really looks good.
What do you edit your videos with, Sean?
I use a program called Power Director. I started with the purchase standalone version of it, but they have a subscription-based one now called 365 that gives me all the updates immediately when they release them, and I pay a yearly fee for that. But if I choose not to renew my yearly fee, then right now I think I'm at Power Director 21. I will always be able to use Power Director 21. It won't lock me out of the program because I have the program and I have the subscription-based one. And I'm not a big fan of subscription-based stuff, but
Yeah.
it's kind of nice.
Yeah, me too. I don't like subscription-based either. Except for Microsoft 365, you don't have a choice. You gotta, if you want it, you gotta pay for it yearly.
Yeah. I don't use
so annoying.
Yeah.
I use all the freeware versions of stuff like spreadsheets and all that kind of stuff. I don't use Microsoft anything, Word or anything.
I've gone to Google Sheets and Google Docs as well, but
yeah,
that seems to work, and it's nice that it's always there no matter where you're logging in from. Anyway, Sean, if you're going to change your thumbnail, here's what I want you to do.
Here's what I want you to do.
First, take the text off the thumbnail. I want to pull the camera back so we can see the whole trailer, and then move up much closer to the camera so that you're very much there.
Okay.
But we still see the trailer in the background, the whole trailer. And when we're done here, I'm gonna show you an example of a thumbnail. As a result, see here you got "Living in the Cold of Alaska." Great thumbnail. It's kind of you, and there's trees in the background. You're walking through snow. I kind of like that because it's good. It's like you in the kind of wilderness kind of shot.
Right.
But anyway, well, we're gonna talk after this.
Yeah, thumbnails for me, and I'll tell you right now, David, especially since you're getting into this, and anybody else who's thinking about doing it, thumbnails for me were the hardest thing in the world to try and learn. So there's a couple of YouTube channels that used to offer free advice, and they'd look at your thumbnails and tell you what worked and what didn't work in it. And I got some good information for that. But like you, I let YouTube pick my thumbnails for the first maybe 10 videos, and finally I get to the point where no, I can't let this happen anymore. That's not what I'm thinking about when I made this video. So I started actually I may take 10 different pictures, and then when I'm done, I will look at all 10 of these pictures, and I will decide which one will fit the video feel the best to me. I'm a firm believer in actually planning a thumbnail picture at this point. And so, like the one you saw, Russell, for this video for this week,
Yeah.
there are 5 other thumbnail pictures that I have already.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, it's amazing how important thumbnails are, and I appreciate that. I'm not at the position where I'm even thinking about what a thumbnail is, because
Right.
I'm so focused on editing and just putting together a coherent video.
And
Especially for my first one.
Yeah,
I didn't give any thought to thumbnails.
I don't use an expensive program for thumbnails at all. I'm not an Adobe guy. I have no idea how to use any of that stuff. The greatest resource I found for playing around with thumbnails is a free program online called Canva, Canva.
Oh, okay.
And you can go. You don't have to pay to be a member. You can get a pro level of Canva if you want, but just go to canva.com, set yourself up a little account. You don't have to be. You can use it for free. You can import a YouTube thumbnail frame size for the picture, and then you just drop your pictures in and size them to whatever you want to do.
Okay. Yeah, I see in the chat people have been talking about Canva. So yeah, okay, that's great advice. Thank you.
Yeah, super simple. Every thumbnail I create now, I do with that, and I've had guys that have created thumbnails.
Just wrote it down.
I've had guys that have created thumbnails for me on Adobe Acrobat and on all these different fancy programs. And the thumbnails that I created on Canva have done better on my videos than the ones they created for me, because you can change your thumbnail every single day if you want. There's no restrictions to how many times you can change your thumbnail on a video.
Yeah. Even, I know we talked earlier about, when you're setting up your YouTube channel and you've got your picture and you got your banner.
Mm-hmm.
Even that's important, for when people go visit your homepage of your channel. I mean, I was playing with mine last night. I've got a lot of beautiful pictures, taken from our shoreline onto the lake. And I love sunsets. It's probably, if I take photographs, the most photographs of anything, it's our sunsets, because we face due west and we get beautiful sunsets. So I was trying to choose one last night. Or not last night, a couple days ago, when I was setting up the YouTube channel, and then they got to be a certain size, so I tried uploading one. They came back saying no, it's got to be 1058 by 762, and so then I'm going in and I'm changing the size of the picture, and then they're getting distorted and they're getting granular. So it takes a long time to find that right picture.
We'll talk more about this, David. I wanted to show this thumbnail that was on my video called Worst Snowstorm Ever. This is the video that has over 1 million views, and YouTube picked that thumbnail.
Oh, did they really? Holy smokes.
It did. I was like, it was Friday morning. I'm like, yeah, it's 10 o'clock. I got to figure out a thumbnail for this video. And I looked at what YouTube had picked, and I looked at it and I went, damn, that's actually pretty good.
So that did then? No text or anything on the video at all?
That's it. Just like that.
So what do you think when it comes to, because I've had some success, I think, with text, but other times I think I probably didn't need any text on that video at all.
Oh, you know what? I did text for a long time, and then I did, even arrows. Like, there was a time when I would have put off-grid or snowstorm at the bottom of this, and then put an arrow pointing at me. In fact, I'm not sure that this is... I didn't quite get that right. Oh, there's Jess.
Hey, Jess.
But there's something about this. I have a bunch of thumbnails of me beside the cabin, just like this, with the pond in the background, and they always do well. And heaven help me if I could figure out why these thumbnails do well. Like, you see a side of my cabin, you see the stairs, you see what is it, Jess?
Well, I'm about to show you that I had my mind polluted by a lifetime at art school. In this one image here, all that sort of the empty space that goes out to the pond, that creates what we call negative space, which adds some nice drama to the composition. Right, like you're not getting lost in the background because it isn't like a bunch of foresty branches and stuff sort of obscuring the lines of your silhouette. For me, I just love the look because there's something really bucolic about looking past your cabin, and that that's a lake or a pond out there,
And
I
I,
like
I
that.
agree with that. I think it's the backdrop, which is what attracts people to, whether it's off grid or cabin life, or you know, I mean, I don't want to go into the nuances of what a thumbnail should be, and I don't like the terminology clickbait, but there's so many channels out there that use clickbait, and I don't care for it personally. I don't care for it, but the thumbnail draws in a lot of people, and they get the views.
It was a long time. I stayed really far away from any kind of clickbaity anything, thumbnail or title. But the more I try something, hold on, let me see if I can get it.
Boom.
There, that's it, perfect.
Yep.
The more I've tried, pushing the limits of what I think is clickbait, whether it's thumbnail or title, the more it's worked, and like almost nobody complains about it. I think as long as your video delivers and it's not just
Well, then it's not clickbait then. I mean, and that was my whole thing with you when you said, hey, you gotta push those boundaries. But at the same time, with me, if I'm pushing the boundaries, but I'm actually coming through with what I said in the title, then it's more of a dramatization of what's about to happen than it is clickbaity at that point. Although it
Well-
can be clickbait.
well, I've got a specific beef with you, Sean. Of course, is your chores in Alaska has got to be the most boring title ever. Yeah. It's minus 30, and you're in a trailer in Alaska. There you go. That's far more compelling, and it's true. It's not. You don't have to change anything in the video.
Sean, you go change that name right now. You go change every name right now.
As soon as I'm done here, I'm going to fire up the generator and I'm going to reconnect to the internet, and I'm going to go on.
Minus 30.
Chores in Alaska. Hey guys, watch me do chores.
Chores
No,
Alaska.
hey, watch me survive in Alaska.
But
'Cause-
Sean, what Russell's saying does make sense. That whole minus 30 in a trailer in Alaska, that's definitely going to be. And I will tell you right now, I have renamed my videos after putting them up many times.
Oh, and yeah, and you can do that, which is awesome. And I've played with different stuff. I've done the whole A/B thumbnail where I said, okay, halfway through the week, I'm going to change it to this one, and we're going to see what happens traction-wise and see if it makes any difference. And sometimes it's made a great deal of difference, and sometimes it's really done nothing at all. But just so Russell knows, George in Alaska is still tracking at a higher level than this week's video was.
Really?
Yeah,
That's so disappointing.
I know, but it's a longevity thing too. So I'm not looking at any videos that my best video ever is how to use a plate compactor.
Right.
When I
And
put a
that's-
drive in it.
That's the worst kind of video for you to do really well.
I know, because it really doesn't. I mean, it does have something to do with what I'm doing, because I was putting my own driveway in at that point. But at the same time, it's so not Alaska. It's
Yeah.
Joe in Florida and Joe in Oklahoma can both watch that video and say, oh, okay, now I know how to use it.
Although,
Right.
I will say, what's funny is I hate to use this example actually because I think it's stupid, but I've done a couple of videos now about my Can-Am, like I'm reviewing my Can-Am, and those videos kind of perennially do well because people are always looking for reviews on Can-Ams because they want to buy one.
Yeah.
But I've had a bunch of subscribers from those going, I came here for the review, but your scenery is fantastic. I love your videos. But that's like 1 in a million kind of.
Right.
All those videos where, Jess is like, I'm picking my nose, in this video, and like people subscribe because of that. They're not going to watch his regular videos, right? But they just want to see Jess pick his nose.
Here's the thumbnail from those videos.
No, it's a thumbnail.
Yeah. So we're dropping the quality of the chat here.
Oh,
So-
God.
How important are thumbnails in attracting people to see your videos? I mean,
So
vital.
important.
Let me give you the greatest example of how this would work. Are you a book reader?
not really. My wife is.
But have you walked into a bookstore, and what draws your attention to any book whatsoever on the shelf? The first thing that draws your attention to it is the cover.
Yeah.
The barcode.
And your thumbnail is your cover. It's like an album, right? The thumbnail is the album jacket.
Yeah.
It's what makes somebody go, "Oh, what's that?"
Right.
It's, you know what? I watched a Daryl Eves video, and Daryl Eves is kind of the guru about YouTube and how YouTube works. So
Right.
he's worth subscribing to. But
I don't like the way he
he's-
talks, but his knowledge is so solid.
his knowledge is solid. But he gave an example one video. He said, because he had these guys who wanted to start a YouTube channel, and they hired him or brought him in as like a 50-50 kind of owner of the channel. And they did this video talking about these squirt guns, I think. And so they did they shot the video, they edited the video, they brought it to him and said, "What do you think of the video?" And he said, "This is a great video. You know, what have you got for a thumbnail?" And they're like, they showed him a screen capture of the video where the guy's holding a squirt gun, and he's like, "Okay, that's not bad. It's not a bad thumbnail, but let's. I'm going to have you work with these other guys who are used to making thumbnails and come back." And they went off and they shot this. They did like a photo shoot, and then it was a bunch of editing. And they came back and he said, "Okay, here's the thumbnail they came up with," and it was night and day. It was ridiculous how much better this new thumbnail was. I'm like, oh my god, that like the first thumbnail looked great. This is okay. There's nothing wrong with this. But the second thumbnail is like, holy crap. This went from a 5% click through rate to a 20% click through rate.
Holy crap!
Like that's insane.
Crap. Yeah. So, should your thumbnail have writing in it, a title in it, or should it just be a picture?
Oh crap!
It depends.
Yeah, I was gonna say I always put text in, but a lot of people don't. One thing I have learned recently through watching a bunch of vids about doing stuff like this is that I damn it, Russell, I was talking.
That barcode is damn sexy.
That's what happens when you make somebody else an admin on your stream.
Yeah, it's like suddenly I've lost control. If you do put text in your thumbnail, it cannot match the title of the video. It has to be different. Which I used to always try to make it match, and I have now seen a lot of videos saying, make it like something smaller, different, punchy. So
I think for the next 4 or 5 videos that I do, I'm going to do no text in the thumbnail at all and see what the difference is.
see what happens. Yeah.
It's funny because I'm good friends with Cooking with Rye, and I've looked at a lot of cooking thumbnails, cooking, barbecuing, whatever. And it seems like those videos do better if there is text in the thumbnail. But I think that's different. That's like people are quickly looking for how to cook, ribs on the barbecue. And so they're scanning, and what is the first thing you look at? So they do a search, right? And what's the first thing you look for? I guess that's the main thing, as their videos are evergreen. They're mostly search based.
Yeah.
Right. So you're scanning a long list of how to do ribs, and the first thing is you're gonna look at the thumbnail, and then you're gonna look at the title. If the thumbnail isn't very clear, this is ribs on the barbecue, or something even more specific, people are gonna keep scanning. So
right. So if I've got a Weber and I want to learn how to cook ribs on the Weber, and I see ribs and it says ribs on the Weber, I'm probably going to click on that one as opposed to going through and looking for the next one.
Yeah.
But
one of the things too that I think is going to be challenging is coming up with good content to put out a weekly video. And obviously I don't see myself putting out a weekly video, but it must be challenging for, you're talking about putting yours out on a Friday.
Right,
Coming
Dennis.
up with content that, you think that people want to see and help you with your analytics and
So when I first got into this, it was mainly just to show the kids what I was doing up here. And then when I decided to take it serious, it was probably 2020. Matter of fact, it was 2020 because I got back from vacation and work put me on quarantine for 2 weeks. And I said, you know what? I'm going to spend this 2 weeks recording video and getting serious about this. So I was following a YouTube channel that their entire premise of every live that they ever did was how to have a successful YouTube channel. And the one thing that they said, now they've done they said a bunch of different things that I went, okay. And then a week later I went, I'm not doing that anymore. But the one thing they said that I just embraced was put out a video every week.
Yeah.
At minimum, just put out the video, because in the beginning, your videos will suck, because mine do. All my earlier videos are terrible. When I look back at them now, I'm like, oh my God, it's painful to watch.
Mm-hmm.
But if you build a consistent time of doing that and you get a following, I'll put out a video one week and I'll go, nobody wants to see this. How many times do people want to see me do this? Right. And like Russ said earlier about comments, the number of comments I get where people are, oh my God, it's so awesome seeing you do that. I don't know how you do that. And I'm like, wow, your viewers become vested in your channel. And
Yeah.
I mean, even if I'm just cooking something on the stove inside, as opposed to throwing a steak on the grill, they're like, oh my God, that was so cool, dude. That was so neat. So
Well,
Never,
it
Yeah,
says
never worry about repetition.
yeah,
Never
and
worry about it.
Casey Neistat said something that I took to heart. He's like, just keep uploading. Just keep uploading. Just do it.
and you'll find what works for you. I mean, to be honest with you, my Sunday video, probably going to record for about 15 or 20 minutes tomorrow, and I'll have everything that I need for my next week's video. So I'll have that whole thing edited. I have my Sunday video normally right now edited by Thursday anyway. So I could upload on Friday without any problem at all. You get into a pattern, you get into a rhythm where, it just starts to work for you. And
Yeah.
I think the hardest thing is just getting yourself into that pattern and saying, okay, I know I have to do this. I have to come up with something. Sometimes my videos are, like this week's was 41 minutes long, and the previous week was 26 minutes long, but it works. I'll watch it. Like I said to Russell here, I'll watch it 10 times while I'm editing it to make sure that everything flows right, that, I transition from this point to this point, nice and smooth, and everything's good. And it works some weeks at 26 minutes, and some weeks it works at 30, and some weeks it works like last week at 41. So, that'll all happen on its own.
But I guess there's two approaches, right? I guess you can do what you do, which is come up with a special topic or something that you think you want to cover for your video for that week. And then there's also just film what you're doing and maybe piece together a video out of that. So, and maybe it's sometimes maybe it's a combination of both.
Well, for my channel, it's funny because Shawnee commented on something. One of my old Axe review videos popped up in her suggestions, so she watched it, and I have trimmed out so much of, like, I used to just be constantly tap, 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 just talking. It would take me forever to get to the point, and I've cut that out a whole lot. And so I rewatched that old video, and there was just way too much talk. And also back then I was experimenting with editing styles, and like I was really, I guess, influenced by the camera work on like Battlestar Galactica and like Firefly, and so I was doing all these stupid like transitions where the camera shakes and everything. And so it was useful for me to watch that old video and like, oh God, this is so cringe. But I would like to do a couple of videos where I maybe say nothing, or just sort of say a little intro at the beginning and a little outro at the end, because I always sort of start with hey there friendlies, and then at the end, and do like no talk in the middle, maybe like a cooking video or something, and see how that does. Because I sort of, after watching that, I spent some time percolating today on like the videos that I like best. Some of them have no talking in them. There's this one guy, primitive technology, primitive something, I don't know, he like builds a mud oven or whatever, or he makes some like real primitive stuff. He doesn't say a damn thing in his videos. And Mr. Chickadee, do any of you guys watch him? He's a woodworker. He does like old school woodworking. He's a former Marine, but like I wouldn't have known that, except he actually did a video that was more of like a Q&A, and I had never heard his voice before that video. And there's something zen about these videos. You're just watching a guy. I'm saying guy in sort of the unisex term, a guy or a girl, a human, just doing what they do. And there's something that I would just like I will end up having, like, I'll fall down a rabbit hole on videos like that, where someone just just doing stuff and not really talking, way more than I ever will when there's like a lot of talking and explanation going on.
Yeah.
It's tough to do a decent length video where there's no talking. But I don't know, but you, like so Jess, when you're doing a video, typically it's like, I'm going to do this bushcraft thing, right? It's going to be, I'm going to show myself doing it. It's not, whereas like David and I and Sean in many ways are doing more of a vlog, more of a, this is a lifestyle thing. This, you know, in my head, this is something that I think I'm pretty good at. In my head, I can picture a week's worth of video coming out and what that video is going to look like in the end, even segments. And I think, okay, I'm going to talk about this, and then I'm going to show myself doing this for a bit, and then maybe a bit more talking, maybe of this, and I kind of see it rolling together. And I think, okay, for this bit, I'll probably put music over it because there's going to be like 4 or 5 minutes of just no talking.
B-roll, yeah.
You know, and I can kind of piece it all together in my head long before I even ever sit down to edit it, or even before I even film it. So I know kind of where my roadmap long before I start filming it.
And because of that, you guys can get away with longer videos. Like if I'm editing a video and it hits 20 minutes, I do everything I can to take another 4 minutes out of it. Right? I'm aiming for the 10-minute video because I'm not doing what Russell and Sean do. You know, I don't feel that I can get away with an hour of sharpening an axe. You know.
Well, we were talking about this before you came on, and I said I think sometimes doing the shorter type of videos that you do, whether it's on your Dribs or Dram channel or your Raindance Bushcraft channels, the shorter ones, you're trying to compact more into that short segment, so it's harder. Probably a little. I find maybe it's a little more challenging.
Oh, the editing takes hours.
You can't do a 30-minute video on tasting a new scotch.
You can, but nobody will understand what you're saying at the end.
You're like, okay, ready?
So I do have a question about equipment. We talked about equipment earlier, and I mentioned, you know, I got the camera, I got the iPhone, I got the drone, but I was looking at shotgun mics today, and they vary greatly in price, from like $50 up to $350. So what do you guys suggest for entry level?
Oh,
this is a Rode 9-volt battery operated that mounts right to that. You have the same exact one I have. Freaking awesome microphone. Awesome microphone.
Okay.
I don't use that one anymore. Now I use the this is the
So I
Pro
saw that one
Plus.
today.
Yeah. But this is too much money. I don't feel that I get, I don't remember what this was, like $500 or something. I don't feel that I get that much more out of this than I did out of this. Whoops, this one.
This $39.95 one.
Okay.
That's another Rode though, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah. I was going to say, even down around the real budget price, I find that Rode makes rock solid mics.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. So, Sean, if you want to drop that model number of that one in the side chat so that David can.
Yeah, that'd be great.
I don't even know what the model number is on that.
It's probably like the Video Mic Go.
It's just Rode Video Mic.
Oh, so it's the old school, just the straight up video mic. Okay.
Yeah, Rode Video Mic.
Oh, that. Okay. Yeah. So that's this one as well. Okay.
Yeah.
I thought you had a really cheap one there somewhere. But yeah, the Rode Video Mic. That's this one, David. You throw is it a 9-volt in there? No. Yeah, it's a 9-volt battery.
Yeah.
That's a really good choice. But they also make a bunch of batteryless mics at this point. They've really pushed the tech a lot. It's a great company.
And
How important is that furry sock?
It's
vital.
If you're going to be a wind, it's vital. Yeah.
Outside, absolutely. And unfortunately, those socks, this was a $40 dead cat. You know.
So that doesn't come with the
that's
shotgun mic.
Yeah. So and you're gonna find that after you're making a couple of videos, the one thing you're gonna hate the most about your video is the audio. So you're gonna want to get a mic right away, because you're gonna either be too loud or you're gonna be too soft. But with this stupid thing, it has made such a difference for me. It's crazy. I could be I mean, I could be 100 feet away from this camera talking, and I could pick it right up.
Okay.
And the thing is, audio is the most important thing. You can get away with kind of not lousy picture quality, but lesser picture quality if the audio is good. The inverse is not true. If your audio is bad, you're going to lose your viewers right off the bat.
Right.
Absolutely. Russell, what mic were you showing?
It's a Shure VP83, I think. And I want to say it's stupidly expensive. And if you can get a cheaper one that has better or at least decent quality, then go for it. I'm not married to them.
I want to say one thing about Shure is that like my vocal mics for on stage are both Shure. They make terrific stage mics. They make a very good, radio mic and everything, but they are definitely not the cheapest mic maker around. I think that for what you're starting out on, Dave, Rode is the way to go, because they do make some very affordable mics.
Yeah.
But they don't sound that much lesser than either of these.
Right. Then they're top end ones.
Yeah. I just want to point out that Dennis says he uses a Comica mic from his DSLR and he loves it. It's a fraction of the cost of a Rode. So check out Dennis's videos.
I wrote down Dennis's suggestion in my book here.
And of course, you're going to go on YouTube and look for reviews of the Comica mic and comparisons between Comica and Shure and Comica and Rode. Do your homework.
Yep.
Yeah, I must admit I'm not good at that. Someone tells me something works, that's usually I follow someone's advice and I just go out and get it. So you're right. That is good advice.
You know what? And YouTube is a wealth of information. We've had a lot of snow this week, and for the last week, and I got another snowstorm coming in again tonight, and for the next 2 days.
Good old Alaska.
Good old Alaska, right? I mean, it's just dumping. So I borrow a buddy's snowblower, and
Okay.
it works out well because I work a swing shift from 4 a.m. to noon, and he works nights. So when he gets off of work, he goes home and cleans his driveway, and then when I get off of work, I go get his snowblower and bring it over. Well, I made 2 passes with it, and all of a sudden the auger just quit. Now I've never had a snowblower before, so I have no idea.
Yeah.
No, and that was the first thing I thought it was. So I reached down there and I grabbed everything, and everything was still tight.
Okay.
So I started following it back, and there was a cover, an inspection cover, and I pulled it off, and there was a broken belt. All right. So I went on Google and Googled what size belt it used at 1/2 inch, 35 inches long. I go, okay, sweet. And I go, call my buddy at the parts store because I'm not ordering original equipment stuff. It's overpriced, and I need the snowblower today, and I'm in Alaska. So if I want original equipment, it'll be here next week. That doesn't do
I get it.
Yeah. So I order the belt. I'm doing my laundry at the laundromat because, of course, I'm off grid, and that's where I have to do my laundry. And I go, you know what? I better watch a video real quick on how to replace that belt. YouTube, boom, done. Exact same model. I thought I had to be an engineer after I got done watching this video. Now I think I am an engineer because it only took me 5 minutes. But
Nice.
YouTube is my go-to for every single problem I have.
Me too.
Me
And I'm
too.
a guy
Absolutely.
who used to want to read the instructions, but no, these days I just YouTube everything. Shawnee, these mics are camera only, but for instance, Shure does make cell phone specific ones. I used to have one, but unfortunately, Apple doesn't use those 3.5-inch jacks anymore, so I gave it away. But
Android does.
What now? Why you gotta be hating?
I wasn't. I'm just give it options.
Don't you go messing with my mojo.
Don't be messing with him.
Yeah. So anyway, Shawnee, Rode makes, I think it's called the Video Mic Me. I think it's a phone specific one. Anyways, they've got all kinds of stuff. They hit all the price points and they hit all the technologies. LT says he has a Chinese shotgun mic and it works. And here, if Canoe Hound, he's giving you the exact mic that he
LT
bought, and the Amazon.
Hold on, can we just tear LT apart for a second here?
Why are we
LT, I've got I got a Chinese knife and it works. Yeah, I said it.
Wow, nice.
Hey, I'd like to say, Austin, I don't know if I was late for my own live stream tonight, so I don't know if you were on earlier, but
Oh,
they're removing the dislike feature. Yeah,
Just
enough.
just wait till you see how this live stream started.
Okay.
It was excellent.
So they're getting rid of the dislike feature on YouTube.
Well, no, what they did was they got rid of the numbers of dislikes, and what Austin is saying is exactly what my problem is with that, because I used to say I'm trying to figure out how to change the blade on a chop saw, and I'm saying that because I put out a video like that, and it's one of my most performing videos, which, as Russell will tell you, is not what I want to be a high performing video.
It's
But
right
anyway.
up there with my plate compactor. Yeah.
Yeah, right. Anyway, so say I'm looking that up, and 3 videos pop up, and I don't want to spend 45 minutes watching 3 15-minute videos. This one's got 90% likes. This one's got like a 5 likes and 32 dislikes, and this one's got about half and half. Which of those am I going to watch?
You're gonna watch the 90% likes. Yeah.
Absolutely.
For tutorials, it's awesome, and you know why it is. I'll tell you why it is. It's like the video that starts, "Hey, I'm Russell, and this is my YouTube channel, and I make videos about da 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 da. And here are several reasons why you might want to change the saw, or the blade on your chop saw. It could be dull. It's not cutting straight. You don't like the look of it, and you're like, oh my god, just freaking get to the part I want to see."
Yeah, which is what I used to do with like that axe review that Shawnee pinged me about today. I spoke way too much. Like, in fact, somebody who watched the video said, to those looking for the review, it starts at 2.46 kind of thing.
I've done that before. Video actually starts at 3:50.
Yeah, absolutely. But like, I needed to see that because it changed the way I do my videos. And I feel that I'm doing better than I was.
I will tell you why I would be very saddened if the dislike feature went away on a YouTube video, because I did not think that I was actually a YouTube video creator until I had my first thumbs down on a video. And then
Right?
I thought somebody felt so offended by what I did, they clicked a thumbs down. I am reaching people.
Yeah, I would rather a thumbs down than someone just click away. Absolutely.
Yeah.
I don't think I've ever hit a thumbs down on a YouTube video. Either I won't leave a like, but I don't think I've ever hit a thumbs down.
Yeah, I've never done it, but I just thought, oh my god, my first thumbs down, yes.
Yeah. Hey, where are my mods tonight, man? I've been deleting guys here. Actually, I think Russell deleted someone earlier too.
I did the wrong thing. I hid that guy. Sorry, he went into your ban list.
Okay.
I'm on
I
Livestream, so I'm not doing my job.
He only.
I have an
Sorry,
excuse.
you should only time those people out, not hide them.
That's the truth. I always I go for the timeout immediately.
Yeah, I've said it before, but for anybody watching, if you just time them out, then they don't get added to the ban list, and they never come back. It's never the same user. And if you add them to your ban list, then your ban list just grows exponentially, and then you can't find. If you accidentally ban somebody, it takes forever to find them in the list to unban them.
Well, I've only banned like 4 people in my entire YouTube career, so I think it'll be okay.
Oh,
I've only been banned from 4 live chats, so that's pretty good. Yeah.
I just
What,
want to say,
mine?
Dennis Paul here is sending you some possibly cool information here about, because Dennis was saying that his was it Dennis? What the hell did you have? His Galaxy S20 doesn't have a jack either. So, the thing is, with these phones with no jack now, it's a little harder to get an external mic stuck to them. And I have done many videos using this. Many. Fortunately, the mics on these iPhones are really good, and it's probably true of most Androids as well, to be honest with you. But
Yeah, I'm a huge fan of the 3.5 millimeter jack, because I want to put headphones in, and the only reason for eliminating that jack on a cell phone is so they can sell you the frickin' Wi-Fi earbuds. That's the only reason for eliminating that.
Exactly.
there are 2 reasons. There is that one, and that's the main driver. But I can drop this phone into a pool, and it'll still work because everything is sealed, because they don't have that 3.5-inch jack. Like, even the whatever the hell that connection is called, Lightning.
The charger?
Yes. Yeah. Lightning.
Even that is water resistant on these things, right? So I can dunk this one. Look, I can't leave it in a glass of water for, what is this? Oh,
You can actually.
take your pill. You know,
Take your pill. What
I
is
wouldn't-
this? Take your medication.
yeah, that's exactly what it was. But
I can tell you that I dropped my iPhone into a toilet, and I found it the next morning, and it still worked.
Okay,
I
so
guess
there you go.
the question I have to ask is, why did you leave it in the toilet overnight?
I'm not going into the details.
He might have been shotgunning all night.
It slipped out of my back pocket, and I didn't realize it. So I
Oh,
couldn't find
God.
my phone.
I've done similar
Anyway.
things, except I've got a pee bucket, not a toilet.
Right.
It's like, so it's
My
like
iPhone 10 worked the next morning. It was
my
gurgly
Oculus
for a
Quest-
few days, but it worked.
my Oculus Quest controller ended up in the pee bucket a couple of times. I was in a
nice.
hurry.
Good.
Huh. Okay, so Scott Green here is saying that Samsung sells a USB-C to 3.5 dongle. For some of these for some of these phone or can I start that whole sentence again? For some of these mics that are designed for phones that have 3.5, if your phone doesn't have them, that might be a good option. Good option.
That's one of my biggest beasts about Apple is that they come up with a new phone and then they change the accessory jack, and you're starting from scratch. And my biggest one is that they did away with the independent charging and earbuds jacks, and they made it one, right?
Yeah.
So if you use the hardwire earplugs or earphones, you can't be charging your phone at the same time.
Well,
It's
here's
just
the
a-
thing about that. Like I was really salty when they did away with the 3.5 millimeter jack. I really, really was. But I haven't used wired earphones in years. And what did it to me was I don't like the phones that came with these. Right? Those hard earbuds that always fall out of my ears. So I was just using different headphones anyway. And then I got little wireless ones, and I haven't actually missed that 3.5 millimeter jack. But I would if I was still trying to stick a mic onto this phone.
Yeah.
You know?
So I just bought these. These are Sony over-the-ear headphones.
Nice.
They're Bluetooth, and they're high end. I did pay a bit of money for them, but they're awesome, absolutely awesome, and they do everything. Like if the phone rings, you can tap your ear and you can take the call, or you can mute. You turn up the volume, go to the next song. They're great. I love them.
Yep. Yeah. Okay, so I just want to say, Dennis says, set my chat to be for subscribers only and set it for 3 minutes to be subscribed to comment in the chat. Great way to weed out the trolls and a-holes. And then Tenenbaum
That is
says, whoops.
Good advice.
Tenenbaum says, can you hand accept justice change to a payment subscription model? Dennis says, what is a payment subscription? This is, if you look under my video, I have a join button. I canceled my my Patreon, and I've changed over to the YouTube join just to keep the accounting clean on my account on my end. So for those of you who used to be on my Patreon, you can still continue to give me money by hitting that join button.
How many patrons did you have?
Not that many, just a few. There are a couple in the side chat here tonight, and there are a couple who aren't here tonight. But it wasn't big enough for me to, I wasn't getting like $100 a month or anything.
So I set up a Patreon account when I had all these dreams of grandeur of where my channel was going to go once I started seeing it grow. And then I realized, it's hard enough for me to put out one video a week. What am I going to give these people extra on Patreon that I'm not going to give everybody else that's watching? So it's sitting out there somewhere, but I've never used it.
Right. Yeah.
So that's another good question. So what advice would you give new YouTubers like myself to accelerate becoming monetized?
Just keep uploading. Just get the stuff
Make
out there.
good videos.
You need two things. Right? You need 1,000 subs and you need 4,000 watch hours in a 365-day period.
Yeah.
Now, so what that means is, A, you got to be pumping out the content. But B, people have to like what you're pumping out, because if you have 1,000 subs, because when I got demonetized when they first brought in these rules, I was at 3.8 on the watch time. Okay. And I was at 3.8, 3.9, 3.85, blah, 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 for like a year before I got remonetized. Now, you know, so you got to be making stuff that people are going to watch, because it's not only sub numbers. Absolutely not only sub numbers. Russell and I were talking about a channel earlier that has great subscription, but lousy watch time, you know. And I remember even Sean James was talking about how at one point his latest video had done, like, there'd been a real dip in the viewership. And the thing is, the viewership is where you get your money. You know, your sub numbers are not where you get your money. And I'm not talking about this as someone who's making bank off of YouTube.
Subs mean nothing. It's all about the views.
Subs mean nothing, you know. And when you get to the point where you're starting to, you know, you want to get not sponsorships, but sponsorships or free merch or whatever, it's the view time that they're looking at more than your sub numbers at this point. I do want to get back to what I was. I just want to clarify something I'd said before. And in fact, Canoehound says, but I'm already subbed. Yeah, subscriber only is not the same. I just felt that because of what Tenenbaum said, I had to go into that. But I'm not going to set the chat to subscriber only. I think Dennis was just being a brat there.
No. He's right. You were really confusing subscriber only with membership only. Yeah,
exactly.
Subscriber only is fine because there's like nobody here commenting that isn't subscribed, right? I mean,
actually, fair enough. I thought that Dennis was just being kind of funny, but I guess you're right.
No.
Yeah,
and I'm going to do that too, actually.
Yeah, my whole thing with the subscriber only is that I have actually picked subscribers up from doing lives, and I've actually been doing lives this year when I have never really done them before.
Well, with that pose, yeah, I believe it.
You like that?
Look at that leg.
I'll drink to that.
Hey.
But so I go into I jump into other live chats of channels that I have watched that I may not, for whatever reason, be subscribed to. Yeah. And I can't leave a comment because I'm not subscribed. I can watch the live, but I can't leave a comment. So I'm more for have a couple of good moderators in there that know what they're doing, and just leave it wide open. And then just, you know, if you got to boot people, you got to boot people. There's a bunch of morons running around right now. 12-year-olds living in mom's basement that love to put links in the chats, you know, and they're not links because they're not moderators. They can't, but it's enough for people to it must be doing something because they're getting in there and they're actually able to post something on there. Yep. And I'm more for just booting them out rather than making it subscriber only chat. Because I look at this every week when you go live, and you set up your live stream, you know, then you have everything that you're going to set up with that. You're going to say, okay, do I want chat replay? Yes, I want chat replay. So anybody who watches this later can see what everybody else was chatting about, and they're not just listening to me. Do you want it to be subscriber only? And if so, what is the time frame of, you have to be subscribed for a day, for a week, for an hour? You know, and it just, to me, it just got way too complicated. So I said, everybody can come.
Fair enough. Absolutely fair enough. There are a couple of things in the side chat that I want to comment on.
Are you taking over my live stream?
Maybe. David, I think you answered Dennis here,
Fine.
right? About
whatever, man.
Why you gotta be a brat? Cozy Corner Cabin says, promote your YouTube videos on the other social channels. Absolutely key. Absolutely. And I'm terrible at that. I do it as much as I can.
Key?
But every now and again I
it's
completely
key.
forgot. Yeah, come on, it's key.
It's not key.
Okay. One of the keys. It's a key on the
helpful.
keychain.
It can be helpful. It's a key on the keychain.
It's a key on the keychain, okay?
Look at all these locks. Keys. It's one of these keys.
Okay,
sorry,
maybe
man.
I'm not doing so great tonight. I should have just left you out. Yeah, I should have just ignored the live stream and let you just continue it. Paul agrees with me, by the way. Okay, somebody in there that agrees with me. But I the reason I want to mention this is because if anyone here who's into, and I've said this before when Paul wasn't around, if any of you guys are into IMPs or MRE content, check out Paul's channel. He does a lot of that kind of content. A lot of Canadian IMPs. He's done some from other countries as well. And I noticed that Paul took some time away and he's back. And so I suggest that you guys check him out if you're into that kind of content.
Listen, sometimes people agree with me. You know, my mom agrees with me quite often.
My mom never agrees with me. Okay, so this is what David is. For anyone who might be wondering what as Dennis was, we're going to work on David. We're going to get some videos out from this guy. I think it's going to be cool.
Ooh. What happened to David?
Well, you said that and he's gone.
Yeah, he's like, oh, you're gonna pump my content before I'm even making it. Well, funk you. I'm out of here. Boom, he's gone.
Oh my gosh.
Linda says, I'm not promoting my channel on other social media platforms until it's polished more and I know how to edit. Well, the editing, all it takes is agonizing effort, Linda. I mean, really,
Jesus.
that's
Well,
what it
Linda,
takes.
you're pretty old as it is, Linda. How long are you gonna wait there?
Excuse my idiot. He's a friend. But Linda, I don't know what you're using to Russell. I don't know what you're using to edit with, but I put a lot of work into editing, but I don't feel that is what gets people coming back to my channel. I do that because, I went to university for film and I hate doing it, but I love doing it,
So here's my standpoint on that, right? I'm a firm believer that you edit, you promote, you push from day one. If I'm watching YouTube, and I watch YouTube, but I watch channels I'm not subscribed to, and I see a brand new channel and a thumbnail draws my attention, and I go say, okay, I'm going to go watch this video, and I see that this channel has 50,000 subscribers and 45 videos. And I look back at their first video, and it looks like it was produced in Hollywood. I'm probably not going to watch any more videos because I'm going, you know what? This is nothing but, and I'm a guy, so it was obviously an attractive woman in the thumbnail that drew me to it. I'm not going to lie. It's nothing but clickbait. It's not going to have any information for me at all. Whereas if I see somebody with a video that's a little bit rough, 9 times out of 10, I'm going to get more information and more enjoyment out of that video than I'm going to get out of something that's totally production perfect.
How many of you guys, you will be quizzed on this, how many of you guys watched the DIY Canadian belt knife video that I linked on my what do you call those posts that you can do in the community channel?
Community post.
Because unfortunately his channel isn't all stuff like that, but what I found interesting about that video was that he was doing the DIY the way some of us do videos, like scrappy, just getting it done with whatever tools he has, and the end result was terrific.
Nice.
And I watched him, he's got his grinder set up in the stairwell of his apartment building, okay? And the knife at the end of it was great. And the reason I found that video so compelling was because it's literally what I just said. It's the DIY knife making version of what is important with video making. What's important with video making, Sean, I don't watch your stuff because of the quality of your shooting. I watch your stuff because there's a personality coming through there that I think I want to sit and have a beer with this guy.
Right.
Okay. And you live in a spectacular part of the world. I'll watch almost anything with Forrest in it, to be straight, because I like that stuff.
Yeah, I do too.
But I'm not watching you for the editing. I'm not watching you for the camera that you're using. I'm watching you for the content, and content is absolutely king. So long as the sound is not bad and the video quality is not bad, if you're telling the story, right? If you've got something, um, um, I'm losing the word in English, but something that's cohesive. There's the word.
Hey, oh, you pulled that out.
Then just pull it right out of the ether. Then it's all good in my opinion. And I bang on all the time. I've spoken to Russell about this before. It's like these guys who are showing their $6,000 cameras. I'm like, God, don't do that. Don't show that. And especially don't show that and then turn around and say, don't worry about your equipment, just tell a good story. Don't.
Yeah.
No. If Mari Hapoya doesn't tell us and then shoots a full week of stuff on an iPhone without like a bunch of fancy connections, accessories, and then he says, just worry about the story, don't worry about the equipment, fine.
Yeah.
Because there are people out there who are shooting nothing because they're saving up their money for a $6,000 camera because that's what Peter uses, or that's what Mari Hapoya uses.
This is how I started the live stream, by the way, talking about
exactly what you're saying right now, Jess. Yeah.
Okay.
Exactly.
On my vlog channel, which is completely dormant, I did an entire episode about what I call TV, about how what I see happening to YouTube is like TV 2.0, right? Where there's like every time I see one of these big, like on the video production guys, like the photographers and stuff with one of those iMac Pros, predominantly in the background, or starting studios and hiring editors and stuff. I'm like, this is not what I like YouTube for. What I like about YouTube is the fact that I shoot a video, I edit the video, and I get it out. And there's nothing between me and you guys.
Right.
But there's no middlemen. There's no, because I worked in film and I worked on TV a little bit. And it's all middlemen. And every time you add a middleman, you add a certain percentage to the cost of everything, right? This is why they're so expensive. And you finish a film, you finish shooting a film, you edit a film, and like a year and a half later, it finally hits the streets. Whereas with YouTube, the beauty, there's a lot of stuff I don't like about YouTube, but the beauty of YouTube is I will shoot something, I will edit it, and I will say it's going up at 9:30 on Friday morning. Sometimes that means that I'm up really late on Thursday night because, oh my God, it's Friday tomorrow.
I'm not done.
But, there's an immediacy. There's the fact that you guys...
That is the beauty. I do the same thing. I start shooting like Saturday. I finish shooting Thursday. I edit it Thursday night. Friday morning, the video's out.
Well, and so, okay, you're talking about, the production end of, going to film school and everything else and how a television show or a movie or something is made compared to YouTube.
Yeah.
Here's what I love about YouTube, right? Russell tells me last week, here's what I want to see in your video this week, Sean. And I freaking go, okay, let's do it. Boom.
I love it.
There was nobody between that entire thing but Russell and Sean. And then it goes right to the viewers, and then they tell me whether they like it or not. And if they don't, then maybe I don't do that next time. Or if they do, then maybe I go that way more. But it's so fun. And like you said, too, with personalities, every channel that I watch because of the person and not necessarily what they're doing.
Right.
Because I want to be entertained. I mean, I'm watching Sean James do stuff that there is no way Sean Owens will ever be able to do.
Right.
I'm going, no, this guy is so far beyond my level. But I watch Dick Trenicky do that too, and I watch Bob Ross paint a painting I'll never be able to paint.
On a little tree right up in here.
Exactly. And we're going to paint another one because everybody needs a friend. Because of their personality and not because of the content of what they're doing.
Oh crap! I had something I was going to say, and it disappeared. Oh, by the way, but if Destiny is still here, she asked how I was doing. I'm doing way better. I have a constant cough, little bit of tightness, little bit of difficulty breathing. So my doctor gave me one of these.
Can you taste whiskey now?
Taste is back, dude. Everything is terrific except for the coughing, slightly shorter breath, and the requirement for this thing. So,
did you have asthma? Did you have asthma when you were a kid?
I still do.
Okay.
It was triggered by an allergy to cats. I spent my whole life with cats. When my cats finally died, I suddenly did not have any need for this anymore. until now. So this is the first time in like 10 years I've had one of these. And then I want to say, Paul says his videos aren't timely for world events or anything. He tends to shoot and edit, then post a week or more later on your regular posting times. I almost never upload on the same day either, because I try to hit Fridays at 9:30. I missed last week just because I had no content. Here's my thing, which I'm going to tell you guys for the second week in a row. My plan for 2022 is to find a piece of land within an hour or two of Montreal that I can have the rights to go on, build a fire, shoot some videos. That if I hit that at some point in 2022, I'm going to call that a win. Because
That's a good plan.
I'm tired of trying to. I feel like I'm faking a bushcraft channel shooting in my backyard kind of thing right now. I forgot to say hi, by the way, to SB Raven. How's it going?
That's Jim.
Yeah, Jim.
So, Jim, I actually have the Bob Ross painting kit sitting in the back part of my trailer here right now that I bought with my youngest daughter because I want to learn how to paint like Bob Ross. I want to paint happy trees. But that's going to have to happen after the cabin's done.
Okay. It's funny because it's easy to sort of dunk on Bob Ross, but I used to watch him a lot. Like, I went to art school before I went to film school, right? Like, I mean, I was starting at the Art Gallery of Manitoba when I was a kid, all the way through to high school. When I was from grade 3 till my first time through grade 9, I went to a school here called FACE, which is Fine Arts Core Education, right? So your course load was, English, French, geography, math, and gym, and band, choir, fine arts, I guess, painting and stuff, and theater. So the school days were long, right? They were like 8:30 to 4:30 every day. And every class was 45 minutes because there was all this art stuff laid on top of all the usual math, French. But what Bob Ross did was, oh God, why am I talking about this guy? This is a bushcraft channel. But what Bob Ross did was LT. Those are nice knives. He sent me a picture through Signal of his two latest. If I remember after this, after I make my point, I'll share the picture. The thing is, Bob Ross, he was in the Air Force, right? Younger, and he didn't come through the usual art like funnel,
Right.
When I was at FACE, I mean, many of the children there were from Quebec's art establishment, right? Famous musicians, famous actors, famous radio personalities, famous painters, blah blah blah. And so it really fed into. Feeds into, because the school is still there, into that artist funnel. And the thing about Bob Ross is that the stress that comes with being fed through a funnel just isn't there when you're watching him.
Right.
He's not coming from the same background as all these art teachers who are like, you must. Do you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, he made happy. They had no accidents. They were happy little mistakes.
Happy little mistakes.
Yeah.
So
here's what
he lives right here.
And the thing that blows me away about people like that, okay, and I'm gonna put him, and I'm gonna put Dick Prenicky in the same thing, and I'm gonna put, I'll put Sean James in that same category. Is here are people who do what they do what they love, and then spread the enjoyment of what they do to other people.
Mm-hmm.
So I would never be interested in painting or art in any way, shape, or form had it not been for me growing up watching Bob Ross paint.
Yep.
And it's just, to me, that stuff is I would never have been interested in trying to build myself a place of my own in Alaska had I not seen Dick Prenicky build his place.
Yeah. Okay. I get it. And yeah.
So they motivate other people to travel down that same path. And I think YouTube is a ton of that as well. you'll see somebody do something on YouTube, and you'll say to yourself, "Huh, I think I can do that." And if they have 100,000 views on one video, or Russell, if you have 1,000,000 views on your one video, and you did something in that video, and 10 people turned around and said, "I'm going to try and do that," and then told you, "Hey, because you did that video, I went ahead and I tried to do that, and I was successful. Thank you." The feeling you get as somebody who created something, knowing that somebody else tried something because you did it, is to me, that's just an awesome feeling. That's an incredible feeling.
Yeah, absolutely. I agree with you. I do want to point out something that Linda said before we go too much further. She said, "I have 2 sets of vids that have 3 similar vids. I want to put them together." Yeah, throw them together into one longer vid. Absolutely. Linda, a lot of your videos are quite short, which for some viewers is amazing, but you can also make slightly longer videos than you generally tend to. Then I want to move on to seeing. I think I showed you this from SV already, right?
Yeah, I saw that.
This is how we. But then, of course, Sam Jackson, Bob Ross is a happy mistake, and then he did feel the need to clarify that was a joke.
Thanks for that, buddy.
Yeah.
Thank
All right.
And Dennis says, "Welcome back, Dave."
Yeah, sorry about that. My computer just died. I've been working off the battery, and typically you get the warning, but mine just went black screen. So anyway.
Yeah. Paul says, "I'm never going to build a cabin like Sean or Dick. I've watched and helped build one sort of in my earlier years. I would love to build a cabin like Sean or Dick."
I'll build a log cabin before this is all done. I won't do it on my property here now, but before my adventure is over, I will build a log cabin by hand.
Okay. Hold that thought, because I just want to point out what Paul said. "Now I just want someone to distract me from my mundane day-to-day life, and I choose to watch something productive and possibly educational rather than another episode of Below Deck." Fair enough. But Sean, why do you not want to build a log cabin where you are?
I don't have trees for it. My trees are all too small.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, that
where
would
do you
get
got to go for
expensive.
that?
So there's parts in the interior where I can do that, or parts over on the area where Dick Prenicky built his on the Alaska Peninsula, where they've got bigger trees that I could do it. But the trees that I have here, I mean, the biggest log that I've cut down on my property, the biggest tree I found to cut down, I think at the base is probably maybe 11 inches. And then 20 feet
big
up,
enough.
I'm lucky if I'm still at 8 inches. It's tiny log.
That's one of the things the outsider talked about is like the trees in his place are huge in the bottom, but they taper like wildly at the top.
Yeah.
That's why there's the great big gaps between them where he put that white stuff, whatever that is, cement, or I don't know what it was.
Yeah, I put gunite or chunk. He used chinking or whatever that was.
Yeah,
Look
I
at
think
that.
it was just drinking. I just wanted to show the LT Survival's 2 latest knives.
Those are beautiful.
That's it. Yeah, it's nice scales on that one.
I like that one. I like this one. I like this one the way I like Grandpa's stuff, kind of thing.
Yeah.
But I love the scales on this one. Anyways, I just wanted to show that because LT had mentioned them before. LT gets knives, like I get
Bottles of water?
bottles of water.
Bottle of whiskey?
Yeah, LT gets knives the way
Glasses.
I get drams.
Glasses of whiskey, drams of whiskey.
Yeah.
Okay.
But yeah, hold on. Yeah, Paul says same with his reading style. He's currently in depth on Nesmic's basic book and Horace Kephart stuff as well. I read those guys over and over and over again. I love the look at the old school way of doing things. I love the old school. I never used to. I was a technologist in a big way. I used to collect operating systems. But I've really sort of gone the other way, and like real skills with real tools is where I. What is with you, funkers? What are you guys giggling about?
I gotta. Here, let me read this one because I read it totally wrong the first time. I'm gonna get sappy. I wanted to say that watching you guys is compared to watching Sean James Dick, Prenicky, Bob Ross. I want to do that. I read that. I was
Oh,
like, what?
We're
Hey,
getting
so-
into the twilight zone here now. I see.
Yeah.
I'm gonna have to blast out of here pretty quick because I got to go to work in the morning. But one of my favorite shows ever to watch, because we're talking about old school stuff and doing things the old-fashioned way, was the New Yankee Workshop with Norm Abram.
Oh yeah, I
Yeah.
love that show.
Hell
Yeah.
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 Let's talk about that. Let's talk about that for a minute.
Yeah.
That guy was freaking talk about incredible and soft-spoken. And yeah, we're just going to build basically a collector piece that would cost you $5,000 if you bought it from a furniture store. We're going to do it for $30 and some cherry wood.
Yeah.
What the heck, dude?
And if you own $100,000 worth of the most awesome power tools on the face of the earth.
But
Yeah.
I want to break that. I want to bring that back to something Jess was talking about, because it's what reminded me of that. It's like you watch Norm and you go, "Damn, if I had that kind of hardware, I could probably do that too, maybe." But when Jess was talking about that other YouTube channel where the guy is like doing stuff and it's like it's just in his crappy basement or his crappy hallway, and he produces an excellent product afterwards. Damn, that's the guy I want to watch.
But here's the sad part. When Norm started, right, when I first saw the first couple of episodes of the New Yankee Workshop, Norm had a router. Norm had a table saw. He didn't have any ridiculous tools like he had in later seasons or later episodes.
But did he have the safety glasses?
He did not even have the safety glasses in the
really?
first episodes. Yeah. And then he did not take a moment to talk about safety before he started his videos. Because I have all the original episodes saved on hard drive.
Nice.
But it was like where Norm went off the rails for me was when he got a biscuit joiner.
All right.
Because from the point that he got the biscuit joiner, I saw more tools in his shop, and he always had the tools, but I saw him use more tools than I ever saw him use before. But
yeah, I feel like I
want a
Sean,
biscuit. I totally want a biscuit joiner.
I
Right.
just want a
After I saw those
biscuit. I'm
episodes, I was
hungry.
like, oh my god, I gotta have one of those.
that's so
Um,
cool.
I'm a little more.
I-
I'm a little more of a Roy Underhill fan.
Right.
You know.
I loved Roy Underhill. That was in the shop with the hand tools. Great
Yeah.
stuff.
And what I loved about him is that every now and again, an epic funk up would end up on camera. Like he'd be hammering something and just drive the hammer right onto his thumb or something. And, jeez, and he's, he kicked something in, but like he never swore, right? Because he's Roy. He's like, jeez.
So you know who's really skilled? Is you ever watch Ask This Old House and Tom Silva?
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
Now that guy is skilled, and he doesn't use he's very hands-on. He doesn't use every single power tool available to mankind.
Mhm.
That guy is like, he's skilled.
Yeah.
He's
I love
phenomenal.
watching shows like that. Shows like that are just because they come across as just common people.
Yeah.
And you think to yourself, you know what? If I just practiced, I could probably do that.
Or This Old House was also fun to watch.
Yeah.
Then Bob Vila got in trouble, and because it's PBS and you're not supposed to advertise all this stuff you're advertising, dude.
Oh, okay. Is
Yeah.
that what happened there?
Bob.
Yeah, so that
Um,
because he was a big Sears guy, he was a big Craftsman guy for a long time.
Back when Craftsman was good stuff.
Right.
Yeah. That's
Post
right.
Sears, I don't think I would spend my money on it. 'Cause
Yeah.
it's owned by Black and Decker now.
Milwaukee. I like Milwaukee, but
Um,
there's a lot of good brands out there.
Yeah, but now there's also a lot of brands that used to be good.
Yeah.
Right. I was gonna say something brilliant, but I just don't remember what it was.
Was it about Norm or Bob or This Old House or New
Oh,
Yankee
Russell or-
Workshop or me?
Oh, I don't know, but I don't remember it. But I will say one thing that, because you guys have mentioned Sean James a couple of times tonight. The thing that made me start watching him, rather than that was a cool video on building a log cabin, and Russell's heard me say this, and at least half the people in the side chat have heard me say this. So I'm sorry for boring you guys, but I'm going to say it again. The reason I fixated on Sean James is because the way he held a measuring tape told me that he had experience in the construction industry. And I didn't know him from Shinola before then. But the way he held the measuring tape was like, I recognize that from when I used to work in carpentry. And that just like, because there's an ease of, and this happens with all tools or implements, right? Like, you watch Paul McCartney play that silly little violin bass that he used from the early days of the Beatles, and you can tell that this guy's been playing that instrument for a long time. There's an ease that comes with the tool and the way you work with it. And you can tell guys who've been carpenters for 40 years just by the way they hold a hammer and the way they hold especially a measuring tape. That people who don't do that, they never hold a measuring tape that way. And I saw him do it and I was like, you're my people. And that's when I started really, really watching him. And it's the kind of thing that not everyone's going to notice, right?
Jess, you're so funny.
It's just,
Like,
there's a way.
maybe,
And
like, I watch a video and I see a guy with a goatee, and I'm like, that's how you wear a goatee. I'm gonna watch this dude.
well, yeah.
I gotta
In
say,
fact, I've been really working on mine, trying to sort of trimming it and trying to sculpt it more because I figured that Russell will watch my videos if I do.
I got to go on YouTube now and figure out how to hold a tape measure.
That's it.
Me
I'm
too.
gonna have to
I
binge
don't know
watch
how to
John-
hold a tape measure.
I'm gonna have to binge
like-
watch John
I'll be like-
James.
I'm holding it wrong, I guess. I don't know.
I'm going to run and get a tape measure.
Yeah, let's do that. Okay, let's do it right now. I gotta
Yeah,
grab
I'll be
mine.
right back. I'm going to get a tape measure.
Guys, come back. Linda said something interesting. Well, guys, come back. Did you guys see what I have to deal with? Wow, that was fast.
I live in a trailer. Everything is right here.
Where's my tape measure?
Look at what look at what Linda says here. YouTube cuts my videos off after about 11.52 minutes. Have you ever heard of something like that?
No, I've never heard of that.
And he's gone again. I'm here all alone. Just me and my whiskey.
I'm back. I got my tape measure. That's all I mean. I never thought about how do you hold the tape measure. We'll have to wait for everyone to get back, and we'll have to figure this out. Where did Russell go out to his?
This is not where I thought tonight's conversation was going to go. Fox, it says, back when craftsman wasn't made with Chinesium metals.
Okay, I couldn't find my tape measure, but I brought tape.
Oh, that's good.
I got a tape measure. You know, I mean, one thing that my father was a quite skilled person. He wasn't a trained carpenter, but he was really good, and
Yeah.
it was amazing what he could do with very few tools. You know,
Sam says it reminds me of framing with Larry Hahn. And Sam has a tape measure.
okay, well, we're waiting for you to demonstrate. Yes.
I'm not demonstrating. I'm not getting up.
How do
I'm
you
here.
hold a
I'm
tape
warm.
What
measure?
do we do this for then?
For nothing. I didn't tell you guys to run off and get your damn tape measures. The last thing you ever want to be is in a room with a bunch of guys who suddenly run off to get their tape measures. Because you know dicks are going to be on the table in about 30 seconds.
Or is it going to be a lightsaber fight?
Ooh. For that, I would go and get my tape measure. Wait, Dave. Is that an Imperial only tape measure?
It is. It is. It's old.
Wow,
That's a
Sean, that's an
Old tape
Imperial
measure.
only one
No.
as well.
Well,
No,
because I'm an American. That's all we use here.
Yeah,
If
that's
the
true.
stores only sell wood by feet and inches, then you don't need a metric tape measure.
Yeah,
Exactly.
but you know what? What if I'm watching an Australian woodworking channel and they're talking about in mills? Then what?
Well, you got me there, huh?
Huh?
Then you
Right?
convert. Then you convert.
Do they sell in Australia by centimeters? And
Yeah.
Yeah.
Dude, everywhere outside North America, it's all in mills.
oh man, those guys are crazy.
Yeah.
How do you build a house like that?
standards.
Totes.
I mean, I'm gonna have-
Hammer, nails.
What's a
saw.
2x4 in Australia?
How do you build 16-inch on center when you're in millimeters and centimeters?
Well, the beauty of metric is it's so easy to find the middles of everything.
Yeah, but I guess the point is when your wood is their plywood is still 4x8. They just refer to it in centimeters or millimeters. It's still
So they're what, like 45 centimeters on center?
yeah.
I
something
think
like
so. I don't quite remember, but
It's got to be exact though, doesn't it? Isn't it going to be like 45.237 centimeters?
that. Exactly.
Okay, Paul slipped me something in DMs.
Imperial does have its use, and its best use is the building industry.
I love the sort of old school magic of. Paul sent me a picture of his tape measure. This is getting silly, guys.
Are you sure it's a tape measure?
Yes, I'm sure it's a tape measure. Why are you guys?
I'm not going there. I refuse to go there.
Oh, I'll go there all day long.
Oh, he'll go there all day and all night long.
And shake hands and
all
high fives.
Night long, all night.
Take
All
something.
night. All night long. Okay.
All right. That's enough.
This is
Okay,
good
I'm
whiskey.
gonna head out, guys. Thank you very much. Enjoyed the heck out of this. This was fun.
Yeah.
All right, Sean.
Thanks.
See you
Thanks,
next
Sean.
time.
Yeah, who
Russell,
invited
invited
Sean
you-
anyway?
Yeah, and Russell invited you to your live again next time. I had a blast with your live tonight, Russell. Thank you.
Okay, guys.
Yeah, me too. I really enjoy your channel, Russell. It's really taken off.
And here I was thinking that Simone or LT were going to do the channel takeover. Little did I know that Russell was going to sneak in the back door.
Gentlemen, thank you guys very much. Everybody in the chat, thank you guys for watching. It's been a ton of
Good
fun.
night, Sean.
Good night, Sean.
We'll
Bye.
talk,
Bye,
Sean. Good night, brother.
Peace out, brother.
Peace.
Good night.
All right. Let's go back to tape measures.
I didn't mean to start a conversation about tape measures. I was just saying that, like, what I was trying to get to and didn't is that you're wasting tape. You can't be wasting tape.
No, it's
No,
the
stop
same. Like a tape measure. I'm using the same tape over and over again.
Okay. You guys. Here we are at like 11:15, and we're still going strong. What the hell?
We could.
I had a nap.
You had a nap?
I had a nap.
Good on you. Good on you.
I have a nap every day.
You know what? You know what's amazing to me, Jess, is for the first hour, we had no more than 14, 15 people watching, and then you joined in, and suddenly jumped over 20, and it's been over 20
but-
ever since.
A lot of people do join after the 10 p.m. line, though. Now there are 20 up. There were 21. There are now 20 people. But how many thumbs up do I have?
18.
18. Oh, that's pretty good. Pretty good. A couple of you are slackers. 17 now. Russell, was that you?
No, I bet you that was
Sam-
Sam Jackson.
I was probably
Hold
Sam
on.
Jackson.
Probably Sam
Sam wants
Jackson.
to join. I'm going to give Sam the thumb.
All right. The Three Musketeers. Here we go.
I don't
Damn.
think I want to hear about you giving poor Sam the thumb.
Sam Wise.
Samwise Jackson.
Sam Jacket. Sam Smartass.
I think-
Jack.
He'll
I think
he'll
Sam
never
wants
let
to-
us down.
Yeah. Hold on. Just let me
I
do
said
something.
it's on Discord, Sam.
Some people are. Hey, Ian, the web lord says some people are slacking on the thumbs. Absolutely. 3 people are slacking on the thumbs. Sam, check out the Discord. Now, if Sam joins, he'd better be drinking that Alberta Premium.
I may get into the Delmore.
The Dalmore?
The V Delmore. The Delmore 12. I may just break it open.
I would love to taste an old Dalmore.
We think that may be a Delmore 20. It's pretty old.
Right. Hey, Honeybee's here. Nice to see you, as always. Any week when I don't speak to Honeybee at least once is a bad week. Do do do. I think, has Russell gone to speak to him to see a man about a hearse?
Probably. Looks like it.
Oh no, he's gone to get beers.
Either that or he's gone to look for a tape measure, a real tape measure.
Oh, I get.
Enough
I
with
was
the tape
looking for-
measures.
What did I
I
get? I gotta get
didn't mean to.
All right, no more tape measure jokes. Tape measure humor. There's a new
Tape measure.
YouTube channel. Tape measure humor.
Tape measure humor.
The tape measured cabin. Well, I'll
I
tell you,
saw-
struggling to get a YouTube channel name is not easy. I tell you, I've been kicking
We
it
came up
around
with
now
some-
these days.
We came up with some killer suggestions. I would like to say hi to Agnes. Agnes says hi, and Agnes is late. And Agnes, I'm not even usually still on by 11:15, but I figure let's just keep it going for a little while longer because we got a good crew happening. We got like 21 people still watching, which is kind of cool. We got some cool people on the screen.
You were an hour late.
I was an
starting,
hour
so
late.
So you have to go another hour.
Yeah, exactly. Hi, Sam
There's
Jackson.
Sam.
Hey, Sam.
Are you drinking
Sue.
whiskey?
Guys,
Are you drinking whiskey, Sam
Alright.
Jackson? Oh no, it looks like he's drinking beer.
No, he's got the box.
Oh,
there.
he's got the Alberta Premium. All right, good on you.
All right, I'm gonna get a little dram of whiskey.
actually, Jess, this is my second one.
Nice.
So-
I'm.
so-
No, go Russell. I was
As
gonna
long
say
as,
something, but-
As long ago
No.
as I bought this, I still have quite a bit left.
Jess, you had a Scotch-related comment.
I was gonna say that we're both drinking Canadian tonight. I'm drinking the Barefaced 7-year.
And how is it?
It's funny because when I bought this, I wanted to give it a really crap review, but I actually ended up liking it because their head distiller is a wine guy from California, and he was like, "We're going to take advantage of Canada's lax approach to standards and stuff, and this was made the way you would make a wine." So this is boring. Never mind. But anyways, I wanted to hate this, and I actually like it quite a bit. I'm gonna buy another bottle when this is finished. Sorry, this
Can
isn't the
I-
whiskey
I-
channel.
What's that noise? Is that David?
My collection of whiskey amounts to pretty much what I poured into here. So,
Okay. I did a count up the other day because I'm gonna do a video on my other channel about all my bottles, and I have 53, which is too much.
How many have not been opened?
I'd say about 11 or 12.
And why haven't you opened them?
I just haven't gotten to them yet. I don't drink that much. You guys see the vast majority of my drinking either here or on my other channel. Like,
Good times.
I don't do like a nightcap every night or anything. And when I
Cheers.
like you're just you're a professional drinker.
Educated drinker, I think is the
That's-
right terminology.
Oh, that's
Probably not the right description.
Yeah, I got that wrong.
You think I'm an experienced drinker? There's no doubt about that.
Professional, experienced. He's a Scotch taster.
yeah, exactly. I do whiskey tastings on the interwebs. Paul is having tap water with a squeeze of lemon. Squeeze of lemon can really raise any water. I would
It's
have
like
done that with like
Paul's
sparkling water.
watching this going, God, these guys are idiots, and I'm happy with my water.
Yeah,
Well,
Agnes,
is it colored water that Paul's drinking?
is it what?
Is it colored water that Paul's drinking?
No, Paul's pretty clear about what he's having at all times, whether it's an IMP or a glass of tap water. Sam, Agnes likes how you put the bottle back in the box. I also do the same, Agnes. When on my other channel I do my first review, I keep it in the box and everything. And when I do my second review, I don't go back to it on screen anymore, so I just get rid of the box at that point.
You don't doubt it.
Hey, let me
Down
ask
the
you this:
bottle.
if you buy a really expensive bottle of whiskey and it comes in a box, after you're done the whiskey, are you looking at the box like, I can't throw this out now? It was so expensive.
I think that really depends. Like I bought a not super expensive whiskey, an Ardbeg Anoa, that came. It's like their barbecue edition, so it came in like this metal tin with a little smoking, like a thing that you put wood chips into to smoke stuff in a barbecue. Stuff like that, like you kind of keep because it's cutesy or whatever. But
Well, here's the. I did open the bottle.
you opened that.
Yeah, I opened it. Yeah.
But how are you
Don't
going
tell
to get it home now?
I'm not going to take it home.
I would have taken that home.
I'll finish it before we leave. No, just kidding.
Tonight.
Yeah, all right.
Wait,
wanna
David.
learn-
Wait, I gotta
learn
tell a
on my
story.
YouTube channel if I drink that tonight.
I gotta tell a story. I ran into a guy. I told the story in my in Friday upcoming video. I ran into a guy in the beer store and we were joking about the number of beers he bought. And then he turns to me and he says, "My dad used to tell my mom that if you opened a bottle of whiskey, you had to finish it, otherwise it went bad." She believed that for years. So,
Yikes.
David.
Yeah, I don't think I'm going to drink it tonight.
Woo!
So, Sam,
Well,
when are you starting your YouTube channel?
me?
Yeah, you. Yeah, you're you,
Well,
Sam.
No,
I was
the other
looking
Sam.
at the three of you, and you've already announced that you're doing one. I thought, well, who else is he talking
Yeah, but
about?
Sam,
I thought
he
was asking
did
me.
preface his question by saying, "Sam."
Well, I missed that part. Yeah.
Didn't he? I thought he did. Sam.
I said
Sam.
Sam.
I
It's
I
Sam.
did about half an hour ago. I started my channel, so
Yeah.
sucks to be you if you missed it.
Yeah.
You bought a GoPro, did you not, Sam? I mean,
Yeah, it's still here.
I have
I
got to
haven't
buy
done
a GoPro.
anything with it. I haven't.
Evidently.
Well, it's
Oh,
in
it's
the,
still in the
it's-
box.
I can show you, but it's in there.
well, which GoPro did you buy? The 10?
Yeah, 9.
9. Okay.
I think it's the 9. The 10 is I usually get them when they're on sale, which is just before the best one comes out. So I always end up at the shittiest one. Yeah, so I think this
Yeah,
is.
but
the
you've got a
9.
9 and a 10? See, I don't have a
No,
GoPro
no.
at all yet.
No, I think this is the 9. It was on sale on Amazon. It's still in the paper.
Agnes, you're absolutely right. If this bottle was up there, it could last for years and years and years. But down around here, just finish it because there's too much air in that bottle. Just
Yeah. Or
There's one feature, I don't remember what it is between the 9 and the 10, but it was a good feature. Can't remember what it is though.
You know one of the first things I learned about Scotch and whiskeys were my parents were Scotch drinkers, and you know when you get into high school and you steal your parents' booze, so then you dilute it, you put water into it to make it look like you haven't taken any out. Well, the color doesn't stay the same. No.
I
You
never
know-
did that.
I used to
On tell.
I used to stage manage for an operetta society here in Montreal called the Montreal West Operatic Society. It specialized in Gilbert and Sullivan. And there was a guy in the chorus. I don't remember his name, but this guy was a raging boozer, like raging. And he used to have all these water bottles. You know those like. Not like you buy a water bottle, but like a Nalgene or a Camelback or whatever. And he used to have all these bottles with ice in them and like vodka or gin. Not even mixed, right? Just straight booze. And in order to LT, all right, good night, sir. Nice knives. And like this was like the type of guy who needed to drink this booze just to good night, Dennis. We should have gotten Dennis on here to talk about.
We should have. Yeah.
You know,
Dennis, are you really going to bed? Can
if
you
you're
join
not
us?
really going to bed, then get on screen. So I mean, this guy would, he needed the booze to function, kind of stuff. But the thing is, when he was 3 sheets to the wind, he couldn't be trusted to do the dance steps required. I mean, Gilbert and Sullivan, right? This musical theater. So I used to rush around and find all his bottles, pour half of the booze out, and fill the other half with water. Because at the end of the day, it was just the ice, diluting the drink, right? And it ended up sort of keeping him kind of on the straight and narrow. He's dead now, so I could use his name and it wouldn't embarrass anyone, but I don't remember what it is. But anyways, it was funny, what kind of life was this guy leading? Like nobody who's absolutely spectacularly happy in their life ends up down that hole.
Oh, I got news.
Go for it. Okay, don't go for it. Never mind.
I don't know
shouldn't have
why I just exploded like that. I shouldn't have said that right
Oh,
now.
yeah.
Except I was thinking
Yeah.
something that we were talking about a few months ago, and all of a
That
sudden
was
it just
exploding,
came to
Sam.
mind.
Oh yeah, I got news. Man, if that's exploding, I would hate to see you like.
Anyway,
Yeah.
I
All right, news. Tell us the news.
go ahead.
my house is going to be vacated except for me. Pretty soon.
Oh,
Oh,
that's news we probably shouldn't be talking about in public, but that's good news.
Oh, there you go.
Well,
Yeah, I knew there was
no-
a reason. Thanks, Jess.
no. Well, no, it's okay.
That's the
Nobody
reason.
knows who Sam or his conditions are, so it doesn't matter.
Okay,
It's
that's
a good.
true.
Everybody else, it's a good thing.
It's a good
Cheers,
thing.
Sam.
Just trust
That's,
on that one.
great
Here's
news.
boom.
Anyway, Sam, we'll talk more about it after we're done the live stream.
Yeah.
When we go offline.
But yeah, that's good news, Sam.
I forgot
Um,
we're not.
I used to talk. Yeah, I was surprised after I finished high school and even after university, and talking to a high school friend about other high school acquaintances who always went home for a liquid lunch every day.
High
Like,
school
it was-
acquaintances?
Yeah. These guys would always go home and drink alcohol every lunchtime and come back. And I never knew that was. I never heard of lunch before.
I
Yeah,
did
I
that.
never heard of that till I started working.
I
was
never heard of
surprised.
well,
I did
gonna
that once.
say-
I went back to school and threw up.
I never
was
heard
so
of that
s-
until I started working in
Well,
magazines. Let me tell you.
we-
Holy crap.
We had one guy come to school and he was totally drunk and just like doing stupid shit. But I was surprised to hear about these certain people who always went home and had liquid lunches and came back to school. I was like, holy crap, really?
Yeah.
I was so
When I-
straight and narrow
I
back then.
wonder how much things have changed. Like like I'm 10 to 20 years older than you guys, and I wonder how much the mentality has changed over the last, 50 years regarding that kind of thing. I think kids are a lot more aware now and a lot more conscious of.
I have no
they're
idea.
doing
I have
themselves.
no idea what kids are doing
I think
right
the
now.
workplace is different because I'm not that much younger than you, Sam. I think you're maybe 5 or 6 years older than me. But when I was
I'm
working
about 10
for
years older than you.
when I was working for a major engineering consulting company, I had a client who would insist that we go out for lunch every day, and it was essentially a liquid lunch. And you essentially go back to your desk and you're, like doing this for
I understand that. I get that, but that's not what I was talking about. I was talking about kids, like school kids, like teenage, underage kind of. When you were in high school, those like kids. You know what I'm saying? That kind of stuff.
My kids partook in high school. They came home at night, crashed into the furniture
Yeah.
on their
I
way
think
to the
kids
way to
nowadays
the
are
house.
a lot smarter.
I don't know what kids are doing these days. I've got one who's 10 years old and one who's 3 years old. So give me like another 3 years and I'll probably be able to tell you. I would like to point out what Agnes said here. I gave my husband a GoPro and he never used it 7 years ago. I was about to say, geez, God, my wife wouldn't have given me, but then she gave me this. So I should just shut the hell up.
Yeah.
I guess your wife needs to give you a tape measure now.
I have my own tape measures, actually. Thank you very much. I don't really like where this is going. Does anyone
Yeah,
remember
well,
the Linda
well,
Blair
that was-
family show? Where she would put pure
That's
vodka
not
in
the
her
right
thermos
gift
at 12
for
years old.
Valentine's Day, is that a tape measure?
See, when you're a teenager, you don't drink straight vodka or rum or any of those. You drink like peach schnapps because it vaguely like fruit juice.
Yeah.
Oh,
we
man.
We started in university. It was, what was it? Purple Christ, purple hate. It was Jesus, purple
Purple Jesus. Jesus purple.
Purple
haze.
Jesus, and
Purple haze.
orange
In my
Christ.
head.
Yeah.
Da-da-da-dum.
It was Alcool, right? Alcool and Kool-Aid.
Yeah, that Jesus alcohol, purple haze, Kool-Aid.
Yeah. Yeah.
Jesus stuff. I don't know what you're
I think that's still illegal. Whatever it is you're talking about.
It was purple Christ and anyway. Doesn't matter. That was
Purple
40 years
haze.
ago. I don't remember. Anyway.
Shawnee says, our high school was closed campus, so we couldn't leave for lunch, but people still brought things to school that they shouldn't have. I don't even know what a closed campus is. When I was in high school at Westmount High, we used to be able to walk to the local mall for, to go to the food court or whatever.
Yeah, us too. Yeah, you could leave anytime.
Yeah.
Well, the last 2 years, I mean, that's a big part of a high school life.
Yeah.
Half of it have been under quarantine, so that's a big part of a kid's life, right?
My youngest child has now spent
know
more
what
than
kind of point
more
I was
than
making.
half of her life under COVID conditions,
Wow.
which is kind of weird to think about.
It is. Yeah.
Thank God this is only a 42% whiskey. 42, 42.5, 42.5.
So you could probably have like 2 or 3 more.
I win.
Yeah, you sure do, Sam. That's
This is 43.
yeah, 43. I am happiest once you get above 45 in terms of, because like 40 is, if a company's putting out a 40, then that's 40 is the minimum you're allowed to make and still call it whiskey, right? So 40% is a company throwing all its effort into getting maximum money out of you for minimum effort, kind of,
Well,
because they're diluting
I'm
everything
sorry.
down to 40%.
Jess, is 40%, is that 80 proof?
In the States, they call it 80 proof. It's
Okay.
80 American proof or like 78 British proof, but nobody uses British proof anymore.
So this is 43%. I don't have my glasses on. 43% alcohol by volume, 86% proof. So it's just double.
80, yeah. In American proof, it's just double, which is why I think American proof is stupid. They should just stop using it. Because British proof has an algorithm to it that I don't understand, but there's some sort of silly reason. American proof is just double the ABV. So just use ABV like everyone else does,
Alcohol per volume.
Alcohol per volume, So 40 is basic. It's bare minimum. I don't respect 40%. Especially when you get to something like Macallan, where they've got like 40%, they've got chill filtering, they've got caramel coloring, and they're charging premium prices for their bottles. This is not the whiskey channel. I'm shutting up now.
Yeah,
Never
shut
mind.
up.
Just shut up.
You were sucking me in for a second there.
Yeah, but this is the wrong channel, Sam. I'm going to be doing a live stream on that channel fairly soon. I've been holding on to a bottle for 4 months for that. Yeah, Agnes, 200 proof would be... No, I would never be able to drink that. So Shawnee says that a closed campus is where a person guards the main door. Yeah, I have never heard of such a thing. Shawnee, you're in the States, right? Of course you're in the States. I just sent you something. You would never see that in Canada. David is asking, what kind of things do you round up in the U.S., Carol? Why are you asking these questions, David? Why are you stirring up shizzle?
Jess, it's time to close it down, brother.
Is it? Yeah. What are we at? 23:34?
Yep.
Okay. All right. So I'm going to shut it down for the week. Thank you to Russell for starting this off when I couldn't due to meetings and such. To those of you who stuck it out till the bitter end, I invite you to have a good week between now and next time. Please be safe, be sane, be healthy, and be kind to one another. And I will see you next week.
Peace.
Peace out.